Once upon a time there was a tavern where we used to raise a glass or two. Where we used to while away the hours, thinking of the things we used to do. Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. We live the life we choose, we'll fight, we'll never lose. We are the wolves, oh yes we are the wolves. Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. We live the life we choose, we'll fight, we'll never lose. We are the wolves, oh yes we are the wolves. Once upon a time there was a tavern.
A very good evening and welcome to Wolves TV. A big thanks to the Wolfpack Howlers for our introduction this evening. Wolves trying to win at Arsenal for the first time in 41 years. A bit of a retro vibe to Matchday Live Extra. Tonight, I'm Mikey Burrows. Alongside me here at the Emirates, as ever, is the Hall of Famer Andy Thompson. Plus, joining us online from at home, Carl Ikeme and Chris Iwelumo. Got some amazing guests for you, by the way, coming up on the show tonight, all as we build up towards kickoff. But the all-important team news is in, and there are one or two interesting things we need to discuss. So let's get straight into it. Wolves make 3 changes from the side that started the draw with Southampton on Monday night. Out goes Aït-Nouri, Neves and Kilman. In comes Marçal, Cody and Neto, which means we are expecting, Tomo, them to continue with a back 4. Well, Nuno played it for the first time in his Wolves tenure on Monday, and he must have liked it so much he's going to repeat the feat this weekend.
Yeah, so look, it's interesting to see that he has actually stayed with the flat back 4. So look, he's brought Conor Cody back into it. It's going to be unusual for him as well, not just for the team. I know it's the second game running, but Conor Cody's played that long as sweeper and that spare man in the defence. So it's going to be interesting to see what he's done. He's left Kilman out and he's put Conor Cody in alongside Bolly. So it is going to be interesting. Look, so Conor Cody's an absolutely brilliant, whatever he's been asked to do. And again, so look, he's going into that flat back 4 for this evening's game.
The question mark, though, Carl Ikeme, is always going to be about whether this back 4 is going to work with those components.
Yeah, I think there's always going to be question marks when we've played a certain way for such a long time. But I liked elements of it in our last game. And I think you can see from the lineup, it's quite aggressive with Pedence, Neto, Traore and Jimenez all playing. You know, Dendonka's got the legs to go forward as well. So I think it's quite an aggressive and an attacking lineup from Nuno, which we've got used to sitting back, letting teams come onto us and playing counter-attack football at times. And I think what Nuno's said a few times in the media is that they need to progress to move to the next level. And maybe changing formation is a part of that in his mind. And maybe it's to help a little bit more with our ball retention as well. We've had a few players that have partied in the summer, and maybe he's just seen the players that have come in and see the players that we had and just trying to get the best out of the team. And I know he's got his philosophy, and it might be a wing-back philosophy that he's had at Wolves, but I think his football philosophy is still the same, of control, keeping elements tight in the game, but also scoring goals. And I think that's what Wolves do need to do to move to that next level. And to be fair, he could have sat there and kept on playing the same formation, but it's a brave call from him, and I'm excited.
Come on then, Looms. I know you're itching to get in here. He's already put in our WhatsApp group about that he predicted on Monday that all 4 forwards would be in. So come on then.
Well, let's not focus too much on that 4 at the back, you know, because with the likes of Nelson Semedo and Marçal as well, they've got so much energy going forward that, you know, with intelligence, the Willy Bolly and Cody, Moutinho can just drop in there. That becomes a 3. Because I agree with Keens. I think it isn't a very offensive, aggressive team, isn't it? You know, he's fitted the 4 in. You know, you've got Pedence, Traore, Neto. You've got Nelson Semedo, who I think is getting stronger and stronger every game. You know, Marcal, we've not really seen a lot of him, but what we've seen glimpses. But he can go forward. He's a technically gifted player. He's got energy. And then you've got Dendoncker or Moutinho, when they do bomb forward, that can just sit in like it's a 3 anyway. So I don't think it's something that the players won't understand and won't recognise.
But this is the element, though, isn't it? That, you know, that this is a team that has been so well drilled for 3 and a bit years, really. That, you know, when we've had Jack Price on it, and Keems will know this especially, that those who went on that first pre-season trip under Nuno talked about the intensity of drilling this certain system. We've got all the good things we've come to know about the players, like Cody, like Dendoncker in the way that he plays, maybe like Traore and like Semedo over the last 6-7 games. This is all very different. Dendoncker's going to have to be a lot more rigid, isn't he? A lot more disciplined to protect if you've got 4 bombing on.
Are you coming for me? You're asking me this, Mikey?
Yeah,
no, well, no, because that's what Dendoncker does anyway. You know, he's box to box. He's defensively switched on. Like you say, the concentration levels, the intensity, we've got that anyway. Nuno has instilled that into us as a group of players. You know, and it's a strange one. If you've got a back 4, the full backs are usually bombed on anyway with the centre back splitting, so you can get your holding midfielder on the ball. So it's very much the same as what would happen with wing backs. The only thing is that Connor Cody, it's been thrown at him so many times. Can he play in a 2? I think he can play in a 2 because he's an intelligent player, but he's also got the protection of a Dendoncker or a Moutinho when the full backs are bombing on, and that's going to be the big question.
Yeah, I agree with Chris as well. Just to go on that point as well, I don't think it's. I know it really looks offensive, and it is. It's a bold it's a bold move from Nuno, but like Chris said, they'll still have Bali and Cody always back, along with Dendoncker and possibly Moutinho. So they'll always have that stronghold in the middle of the pitch, and then they'll work it out, delay, get time for the fullbacks to get in. That's how this formation tends to work in a 4-4-3 if you're being really aggressive as well. And with Traore and Pedence or Neto up the pitch, do you always need that your fullbacks bombing on? That one might hold back on the other side when the away.
Well, I was going to say, and I want to bring Tomo in on this because it was generally one of the roles that Tomo played amongst many positions. Does that explain Marçal coming in for Ait-Nouri to maybe provide a little bit more protection and give them the potential that if Semedo does go forwards, which is his natural game, Marçal can shuffle across and they can have a back 3 that way?
Yeah, of course it is. Just but you've got experienced players in there as well. Moutinho, I'm sure that he's going to orchestrate a lot of things in that midfield area, making sure that we don't get caught out. But look, Connor Cody, the way that he talks, the experience that he's had already, everybody in this team's played in a back 4 team. Everybody. So I know that we've played in that back 3 and we've been successful with it. But for me, I just think that he's gone out there, he's been offensive with what he's done. He's put people in there that are going to hurt teams. I think he's looking to take the game to Arsenal. I think that he's gone to put Arsenal on their back foot. He's relying on the lads to fit in, and they will do. Because, look, we know that Nuno's teams are well drilled. They know what they're doing. They know when they haven't got the ball, where they need to go and where they need to push players into little traps. And they're going to do that. So, look, I've got no fear or worry at all with the way that we're going to play, because I think that there's enough talent out there that they can adapt, play that way, and cover anything that happens out there.
Almost spot on. You know, you're saying that we're really taking the game to Arsenal. Arsenal's not the scalp it once was. Let's be honest about it. You know, that front 4 that we've got there, and I agree, you know, Marçal coming in a little bit more defensive. I'd expect Nelson Semedo, he's bombing on, he's getting up and supporting every opportunity. But that front 4 on its own is going to be causing all sorts of problem if we give them the service that we know that we can. We've already seen how it works. They can rotate. They're all over the place. They're defensively switched on. For me, it's an interesting one. You know, you look at the likes of you look at the likes of Semedo. You know, I think he's just getting better and better. The only thing that's probably been missing is that goal, and he's had a couple of opportunities. He's found himself in those positions, but if he can get up and support, then Donka every opportunity going. You know, Matinho, more often than not, he has found himself in those positions, but more often than not, he's the deeper one. He'll get on the ball, and like Tomo says, he'll orchestrate. He'll be seeing the passes. But it's going to be very interesting because Connor Cody's position is going to be very different. You know, he goes and supports. He covers for the two centre backs. He's out in wide areas. Whereas now it's going to be very interesting that he's going to be one of the central. But it doesn't have to be, because if the full backs do bomb on and one of the if it's Dendonk or Matinho will sit, he's in the exact same position. He's protected by the two in front of him. So again, I think it's just intelligent footballers. I think Nuno will work on it. But again, it's the same principles of what we've always done over the years.
I want to come back to this discussion on the front four, as we're kind of terming it. We're going to get our first guest on in a couple of minutes' time. Before we do that, I just wanted to give Keems an opportunity to talk about Rui Patricio, 100 Wolves appearances tonight. What have you made of him in his Wolves career? He obviously came in such kind of a crescendo, really, and the fact that he was Portugal's number one. He was coming in there, taking the number 11, the respect to you shown on that basis. He, to me, this season has seemed to add a little something to his game, maybe. He's a little bit more comfortable at coming and claiming things than he was in the early days. Is that fair?
It might be a fair assessment. He might just be improving with getting to know the league as well. I think he's been fantastic since he's come in. I think he's quietly gone about his business as well. He's made some big saves in big moments in the game, and he brings a wealth of experience as well. And he brings the sort of calmness as well to the back three or back four as it is today. So it's become seamless. We speak about him because of the circumstances and because he's a top keeper, but it's been a seamless transition, really, him coming in. There's never been a moment where we've been calling for him to maybe be dropped or anything like that. You know, he's been brilliant since he's come in. He's, like I said earlier, he's added that wealth of experience. He makes big saves when he's called upon, and he's getting better as well. So I'm sure we'll keep improving the team as a whole as well. And I'm sure he's got another 100 appearances in him for Wolves.
I was going to say, at 32, in goalkeeper terms, that's still relatively young, isn't it?
Very young, yeah. He's athletic. He looks fit. You can tell he looks after himself as well. And I think it was a great signing for Wolves. I obviously naturally disappointed knowing how it would feel for John to have got us up, but he's been brilliant, Rui has, and you can see him in a Wolves shirt for years. The way things are going, he looks settled as well. He looks settled on the pitch, settled off the pitch, and it's been a great signing for us.
Absolutely, good words. Right, let's get our first guest on Matchday Live Extra tonight. We want to bring you the best possible opinions that we can, and we have gone to a man who is a bona fide Arsenal legend, 400 plus appearances, 99 goals, the man nicknamed the Magic Man, Paul Merson. Great to have you with us on Matchday Live Extra. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
What's your view, I guess, ahead of this game? Because this Arsenal team is not quite the all-conquering Arsenal teams that you've known and played in.
Well, 100% not, definitely not. And I think it's a heads or tails game. I really do. I do like Wolves. I like with Traore playing tonight because I think they're very, very open to the counter-attack, Arsenal. They'll probably have a lot of the ball. I think Wolves will probably do what they did against Leeds in the first half, sort of sit back and hope to counter-attack. And with Traore on the counter-attack, I don't know how you can stop him. I really don't if he gets going.
It's one of those situations, Merce, where we've just been talking about the fact that for almost the first time, Wolves have got a front four. They've been so used to a set three at the back, a set way of playing. I mean, you'd enjoy playing in this kind of setup with these kind of players around you. How difficult will it be, though, for them to adapt and go and play an attack in such a short way of time, changing the way they're playing?
Yeah, to be fair, Mikey, I haven't seen the team. I haven't seen. Are they still going to be playing three at the back or
Four at the back.
four at the back?
Semedo, Bolly, Cody, Marçal, Dendoncker and Matinho, almost two holding in midfield. Traore, Jimenez, Podence and Neto are all on the pitch, Merce.
Wow. Well, they're going to have a go. I think it's going to be a very enjoyable game. I can see there being a lot of goals because, yeah, I think it's dangerous when you play four at the back. I think we see it with Walcott's chance last week against Wolves. I think the fullback don't really have to be on the cover when they got three at the back because they got that spare man with who I personally think Cody's the best centre half of a three in the country, in my opinion. I think he's very good at that position. And I think now the way they play with Sadeo playing down the right, he will have to come back a bit. And I think I like his game going forward. And I think there'll be openings for both teams. I really do. I think I like watching Wolves play and I like watching Arsenal play. And I think it could be a shootout.
Merce.
Yeah, go on, Carl.
Hello, Carl. You're right,
I am Merce. You're right.
Still playing for you. He's never been a goalie. I played against him in a five-a-side tournament. He's got the best feet in the world.
I'm done.
You couldn't believe it.
two injury pro, Merce. But Merce, I've grew up watching you in some great Arsenal sides, and as we've seen over the past 20 to 30 years with Arsenal, where are Arsenal at the minute, and where do you think they need to go to maybe not be the great side that you played in and we've seen over the years, but get back close to that because they seem so far off?
Yeah, I worry for him at the moment, Carl. I just think I don't think Arteta knows his best team. I think it's just swapping and changing it week in, week out. He's not under no pressure. I think he's there for a long time. I think there's got a plan and he'll be there to sort that out. I think he's got to get a team together get his coaches together and himself and go, right, what's our best team? And just stick with it for 5 games. If it don't go right for them 5 games, then you know that's not the team. But when you bring in Pepe last week against Leeds, he gets sent off, so he won't play this week, and then I'll make another change. And he just keeps on constantly making changes. You know, I personally think Arsenal are a better team playing 3 at the back. I think they're sort of the same as Wolves. I think Wolves are a better team with 3 at the back. I think it's safer. I like Bowley, don't get me wrong. I do. I really like him. And I like Cody, but I like him in a 3. I think, you can take chances. Bowley can go and push forward. And, if the centre forward gets the ball, he can go all the way. This way they play now with a 4. It's hard. They play the 3 as good as anybody in the country. I would probably say in Europe, if I'm being honest. But usually it's the other way round. When you play 4 at the back and then you go to a 3 at the back, that's hard. That takes a lot of work. But to go the way they've been playing and then go to a 4 at the back, I think it's dangerous. I don't know why they're doing that. I'm not a great believer in trying to fix things that aren't broken.
Hi, Mercer. Just on the back of that, do you think Arsenal? Hi, Mercer. Do you think that Arsenal have improved under Arteta? And another thing is as well, do you think it's the right decision to keep Ozil out of the team?
I think they've improved a bit. I think there's a little bit about them. They play certain games and they're harder to beat. I don't think they go to places like they went to Old Trafford the other week and they'll play Man City and they won't lie down and it won't be 3 and 4s and 5s. I think it's solid that way. But the hardest thing in football is to go from being open to get tight at the back and then still score goals. I mean, it's the hardest thing in the world to do to get that recipe of not letting in any goals and scoring bundles. I think Arteta has. I think Ozil's got to be in the team. I think he's one of the most talented players in the Premier League. He's not what I call a run-arounder. He's not one of them who's going to chase down in the corner flag. But you give him the ball and he'll put the ball through the eye of a needle and he'll put balls through that only probably Kevin De Bruyne can put through. And, when I played, I was lucky enough. I played in 10 and I played with some good players. Don't matter how good them players were, I had to play with pace. I had to have pace up front. If I didn't have pace up front, you might as well take me out the equation. I'm only as good as the players I'm putting the ball through to. Do you know what I mean? And for me, Ozil plays with Aubameyang up front. And as soon as he turns, he just goes, Pepe on one side. If he wants to play Pepe, I would go Saka on the other. I would play pace. I'd love to play with Traore. I wouldn't even have to look. I wouldn't even have to look. I just the ball would come in. I just flick it around the corner. He's a dream. I mean, a dream. But you know, at the moment, Arsenal, if I'm a Aubameyang or if I'm Lacazette or if I'm Pepe or anybody playing on the other side, I ain't making a run with the midfield players getting the ball that Arsenal got at the moment. You know, no disrespect, but Xhaka's not going to put the ball through the eye of a needle. You know, I think what's the name? The other lad there, Kabais, he's a lender. He lends the ball. He gives it, gets it back, gives it. You know, you watch Liverpool many years ago. Torres only made runs when Gerrard got the ball. Yeah. You know, it's as simple as that. You make runs at certain times when certain players have got the ball. And Arsenal haven't got enough goal in midfield. They haven't got enough goal to break teams down. They haven't got the passing of Neves and Moutinho. They haven't got that in the Arsenal team at all.
Well, Paul, you sat.
Hello, Chris.
How you doing? You okay? You sat in the hot seat. You've been a manager. So if you're in a job and you know there's not real pressure, you're in the job for a long time, it makes it easier to leave players like Ozil out. It makes it easier that you can change the team week in, week out. There's no consistency. There's no stability there. So that's the wrong way to go about it, is it not, if you're moving the club forward?
Yeah, I think that's where you're right what you say, Chris. That's where he's not under pressure. So really he can just swap and change week in, week out and wait to get the right sort of the right team. But I'm with you. I think it's a dangerous game to play. I just think Arsenal at the moment I call them also runs. I just think they're a middle of the table team. If you said to me who's going to finish above who, Wolves or Arsenal, I'd probably go Wolves. I would. I like Wolves. I think Wolves are consistent. Wolves, you know what you're going to get with Wolves. I'm a bit shocked tonight, if I'm being honest. I just naturally, you just think, as Snowy's white, that they're going to play free at the back. You know what I mean? That's just the norm for Wolves. Every time they set up, as I say, they've got players that suit it. It's perfect. The wing backs suit it. They don't really want to sit back and defend. They like enjoying themselves and going forward, and they're good attacking. And as I say, Bowley likes to go with the centre forward. Now someone comes short and he turns. What do you do if you go? Cody's not blessed with major pace. I can go back to when he got absolutely ripped to shreds by Chelsea when Tammy Abrahams ripped him inside and out. He doesn't want to get isolated. And no centre forward, no centre half in the world wants to get isolated. No. Don't matter if you're Baresi.
Merson, we've just been talking there about the idea that if Wolves are going to go to the next level, look, they've been seventh for the last 2 years. If they're going to make that step up, is this the kind of thing that they need to be able to do to surprise people maybe and change their formation sometimes?
You might be right with that, Mike. You might be right. You might be spot on as it goes, because it shocked me. It shocked me, and I think you might be right. I think when I watch Wolves, I just think sometimes when they play the big boys, it's a bit. We'll make sure we don't lose this game. I can't get my head around the Jota one. I'm sorry. I mean, you as all Wolves lads, you might understand it, but in this day and age, for £40 million, which I personally think is a cup of tea in this day and age for top players like Jota, I just didn't get that business. I really just didn't get that business. But I do like Wolves. I think they can go to that level. I think it's open. I think I say it's open. You can't see Liverpool, Man City, probably Chelsea and Tottenham not being there. But, I always look at Wolves now. I think they're a solid team with good players. But it shocked me, the Jota one, because I look at Wolves and I think they're not a selling team. They're bringing players in for fun, and they always bring in a quality of player. I've said a million times, personally, no disrespect here, but I think the manager could manage any of the top big four. I really do. And Barcelona and Real Madrid, I really do. But I just think at the moment, I think it's a dangerous game to play tonight. I know they might have shocked Arsenal, but I ain't sure. I don't want to be seeing Cody, who I think is the best in the middle of a three in the country, being isolated, because I see what Tammy Abraham's done to him last year at Molineux.
Mas, just another question, and I'm talking it as a lover through football, really. Do you think Arteta will get the backing at Arsenal as well financially? Because I think as football fans, we all want to see Arsenal get back into the top six, top four equation, in a sense. And it's disappointing because they seem so far off.
Yeah, I mean, it's spot on, Carl. I don't know if they will get the backing. I'm not sure. I mean, what will it need? Probably needs 600, 700 million pounds to get back to where they want to be. And that's just buying players. And then you've got the wages on top of that. I just think these clubs, some of them are just quite comfortable at the moment. You know, if Arsenal can riddle around 7th and 8th at the moment, you can't get a ticket at Arsenal. You can't get one. You know, it's comfortable. And I just think at the moment, I just see Arsenal, they're a million miles away. I'm talking 6, 7, 800 million pounds away, which is just mind blowing. And, you know, years ago, you know, everybody remember, you go, how did the Arsenal get on today? Everybody would say the Arsenal. It's Arsenal now. It's not the Arsenal anymore. Hasn't got that. Wolves are not going to Arsenal tonight with any fear at all. And they probably, if they come away from the Emirates with at least not a point, Wolves will be disappointed. And for me, no disrespect to Wolves, you know, but when I played, Wolves weren't about. And now it's swung all the way round where Wolves are going to the Emirates, where you're thinking they will be very disappointed if they're not going back up the motorway with at least a draw tonight.
I was going to mention to you though, Merson, I think you did play a couple of games against Wolves. Didn't you score a free kick at Molineux?
Yeah, that was in the other league. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. It weren't the big boys.
It don't count, does it?
It definitely counts because it was against Matt Murray, so it definitely counts. It definitely counts.
Doesn't count.
There's certain goals you remember, and that was one of them. I mean, yeah, Matt Murray, I give him the eyes. I kept on looking over the wall. He was a young goalie, and he literally, and I put it the other way, and he only went about a yard past him. He got flat-footed, but a top goalie. So I always remember that goal. I love playing Wolves. I probably had one of my best ever games in a pre-season game for Aston Villa. There one day we played at Molineux and played really well. It's a great place to play, and I'm glad. I'm not saying it because I'm just on here. You know me, I talk my mind. It's not a problem. But I'm glad Wolves are back where they are. They're a massive football club. I mean, we were going through pictures a while back, my mum and dad and everything. My brother's like, what's my brother now? About 48. And there's a picture of him when we was kids. He had the Wolves shirt on, just a gold shirt with the big wolf there. You know, they were a great team. It was a great kit. So, yeah, I'm pleased. I still think they need to go to that other level. I hope they don't just settle for being where they are, you know, because it's easy to get stuck in that Everton situation where Everton got stuck, you know, for like many a year. Where's Everton going to come? Oh, they'll come 5th between 5 and 8. I don't want Wolves to be that team.
Just very quickly before we let you go, because we've had you for way longer than we promised.
Yeah, no problem.
On a wider level, you talk about Connor Cody being perhaps the best in a back three in the country. There is the Euros coming up for England. In your view, should he be an absolute nailed-on starter for Gareth Southgate?
I think he's a shoo-in. If we have any chance of winning that competition, we have to play three at the back. We haven't got good enough centre-halves. And he's a great talker. He reads the game well. And he's comfortable playing in that three. And then when you've got people, I mean, I can reel off as many wing-backs, the amount of wing-backs we're blessed with. So why not? You know, I don't think we're pacey enough to play three at the back. I think it's 4 at the back. I think he's a shoo-in. I really, long as he stays fit, Mikey, it's a long way to the end of the season. I mean, we've all been there, lads, haven't we? You know, I got in the team at Aston Villa in November and got Player of the Year. I mean, Fernandez got Player of the Year at Man United. He only come in January. It's all about timing. But if I was Cody, I wouldn't want to be playing in a 4 every week because that could really harm him going to the Euros. And I say that because if they start going with a 3 and he's playing in a 4 every week, you know, that doesn't help his cause.
Merson, it's been brilliant to have you on. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Nice to see you all again, lads.
Cheers, Merson. Take it easy.
I would say good luck tonight, but
we don't love us really. Don't worry about it.
Take care, lads.
Bye-bye.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Thank you to Paul Merson. Brilliant to hear his thoughts. It's interesting, isn't it? Because this is going to be, you know, it's not just us that will be talking, Keems, about 4 at the back. It's interesting to a lot of other people. You saw how surprised Merce was to hear that we were doing it.
Yeah, everyone, and including us, have been so used to it. That's why it's we spent the first half an hour of the show talking that we're playing 4 at the back, and we've got Traore, Neto, and a very aggressive starting lineup. So it's a big change. I saw bits last week that I really liked, and I think we all trust Nuno as well. We know that they haven't just worked on it yesterday and decided to play it today. You know, they've probably drilled it all week. They might have drilled it in pre-season as well. So I'm looking forward to it. It's exciting. And listen, we kind of know the three at the back with the wingers sort of formation as well. So we can always go back to it. But you know, Arsenal here for the taking tonight as well, as Merce said.
We're going to bring in our next guest and we'll continue this conversation because we've got a man waiting to speak to us who you all know pretty well, especially Iwelumo and Carl Ikeme. Delighted to welcome now Ipswich Town's Stephen Ward to Matchday Live Extra. How are you, Wardy?
Not too bad, lads. How you doing?
Stephen.
Very good, mate.
A mini ex-Wolves reunion at Ipswich under Paul Lambert.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, obviously backroom staff more than that, but yeah, no, I'm enjoying it. They talk highly of their time at the club, so that's always nice to hear.
This is a big game for Wolves. You know all about these kind of fixtures. What are your thoughts on how Wolves can go about it tonight?
Well, I think we've sort of seen over the last couple of years since they've been in the Premier League that I don't think there's many fixtures that they fear nowadays, and I think the run that Arsenal are on and I think they'll really fancy it, and I think they'll go there positively and look to get the win, definitely.
Well, on you've played all over the pitch, mate. Now we're having a discussion here about Wolves playing 4 at the back. You know, Connor Cody and that too. He's an intelligent player, isn't he? He's a good football player. I think he can handle that pressure as well. But the spin side of it that the guys are talking about, that if he does well in a 4, he can do it all, 3, 4, 5, whatever you want to call it, and that's only going to do well for him internationally as well, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. I think. Listen, he's obviously well used to playing in a 3 or a 5 sometimes at the back. So, listen, he's a quality player. I think he showed going into the England setup. You know, all the sort of reports coming out, how much of a leader he was, how much he settled in, how positive he was around the place. But I think first and foremost, his performances showed how good of a player he is. So, you know, for me, I think he could play in a 2, a 3, a 5, whatever needs be. It's quite interesting. Wolves sort of changing a little bit to a 4. To see more so how the team copes with that, I think, rather than just Connor himself.
Yeah,
players are fairly adaptable, though, right? I mean, you guys, you've been through it at a number of clubs, especially at Premier League level. That players can do this now. We tend to sit back, me as someone who's not played the game, and go, "Wow, they've made this big change." You as players, you can handle it, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think the quality they have in the squad, I think you could ask a number of players to play in 2 or 3 different positions and it wouldn't be a bother to them. So, I think sometimes from the outside it can maybe look a bit more of a big deal, but, he's a centre-half by trade in terms of, just playing in a back 3. I'm sure that he'll have no problem playing in a just a 2 sort of centre-back. So, I think more so I think you'd notice more about sort of how the team copes with it because, they've played such a successful system for, a good few years now, and they sort of are where they are now because of how they play. Teams struggle to work them out, couldn't really cope with the formation. I know that personally when we, played against Wolves for Burnley, we found it really, really difficult to cope with that formation and how they move the ball and how they control the game. So I think more so around the 11 rather than, just the back 4. It'd be interesting to see how they do actually cope.
Woody, just as a fullback's perspective, is it actually easier to go from wing backs to a 4, or is it harder to do it the other way?
I actually think it's easier playing as a wing back.
Yeah.
In terms of more so in your defending role, I think I've played wing backs only a handful of times really in my career, and I feel that you can always be higher and get closer to the winger. When you're playing 4, playing behind the back, you have to tuck round and get a lot narrower, and you can get exposed a bit more because if the winger stays wide and stays on the touchline, it's a much bigger distance for you to get out and close them down. So I feel as a 4, you can be a little bit more exposed to 1v1s, whereas as a wing back, obviously you need to be very fit up and that you got to do both sides of the game. But I think defensively, as a 4, it's a lot more of a test. And I noticed when I played in a 5. You could be that little bit higher because you always knew you had a centre half or one of the 3 that would cover around for anything over the top. Whereas in a 2, if you go in too tight and they spin you in behind, there's plenty of space. So I think defensively more so. I think attacking wise, obviously, as the fullbacks that Wolves have want to get forward anyway. So I don't think that changes too much in terms of the wing back role, but definitely more so defensively.
Should they be confident, do you think, Wardy, coming here? I mean, it's been a long time since Wolves have won away at Arsenal. There have been some right old battles down the years. I think, didn't you get absolutely taken out by Cesc Fabregas in one of those in recent times? I think even Arsenal apologised for it.
Yeah, that was a home game. He actually come into the dressing room after and Mick told him to do one. So it was actually in the home game, yeah. But yeah, no, listen, it's from experience, you know, the lads will know themselves. It's a really tough place to go when Arsenal are on form or, you know, playing with confidence. But at the minute, you know, they're in a funny vein of form. So I don't really see why Wolves should fear anything. I think, you know, they'll be disappointed a little bit with their last couple of results. I think, you know, it's sort of how well they've done. People sort of look at Wolves now as a team, you know, a top 8 Premier League side. And you know, when they're going to places like Leicester getting turned over, not beating the likes of Southampton at home, you know, some people look at it as if they're not the best results, but, you know, they're against 2 decent sides. But I think that just shows where Wolves are at the minute. So I wouldn't have anything to fear. I think they'll go there. You know, they've got the players to really hurt Arsenal. And like I said, they're sort of still in a bit of a transition period, Arsenal. I don't think it's a place where you'd go with fear as much as it used to be.
Right, it is prediction time. Wardy, the boys need your help because I am beating the pundits 5-0 so far this season.
You gave yourself an extra point as well now.
You do know we claimed that 1-1 last week.
Yanni says it's a no, mate.
No, it's 5-0. Looms, considering you're the biggest complainer about this, you can go first.
3-1 Wolves.
3-1?
Yeah.
Okay. I have to check that. Wardy?
I would say Wolves to win 2-1.
2-1. Tomo?
Okay.
I'm going on the same line as Looms. I'm going 3-2.
3-2.
Oh, goals. What a game.
Oh,
What a game, Tomo.
I was going to say, mate, I hope so. I've got to pick this first anyway.
And Carl Ikeme waiting patiently.
1-0.
No.
0-0.
Nah, I'm joking. I'm going with Looms 3-1.
It's never been a 1-0, Mikey. It's never been a... See if you just stop willing this. Stop putting it out there in the universe, mate, all right?
Teams went for the goalkeepers unit there.
The boys have left my traditional 1-0 open and available. Oh, you put me in a really difficult position this week. I mean, I'm 5-0 up, so I may as well go for it a little bit more.
Just get on with it, Mikey.
I'm going to go for a 2-0 Wolves.
Wow.
Stuck it out there.
You know he's expecting goals and he's gone 2-0 instead of 1.
Wardy, thank you so much for your time tonight. Great to see you. And
take it easy, Wardy.
And good luck this season with the rest of the campaign with Ipswich.
Take care.
And you.
Stephen Ward with us on Matchday Live Extra. More from Chris Iwelumo and Carl Ikeme to come at half-time. Tomo is with me. Teams are in the tunnel. They'll be out shortly. Don't go anywhere. This is Wolves TV's Matchday Live Extra.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
The Old Goal Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it.
I'd been back to Molyneux on a few occasions, and I never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those 2 games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Jodian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in for me, and even more so when after having a tough first 4 or 5 months that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing in this fantastic game.
Old Goal Club, My Golden Game, available now.
Wolves TV, the home of live uninterrupted radio commentary of every single Wolves game.
Here it is! Oh, you beauty!
But that's not all. Wolves TV also brings you extended and alternative match highlights, interviews with the team, behind-the-scenes features and training coverage, plus see every goal Wolves score from every angle.
Jota on the volley, oh, what a goal! That is simply stunning!
So check out Wolves TV online at wolves.co.uk or on the move via the Wolves app. Matchday live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Match week 10 of the new Premier League season, and Wolves face an Arsenal side trying to avoid 3 straight league defeats at home for the first time in over a century. The Gunners have their worst points tally at this stage since 1994, having lost 4 of their last 7. This part of North London is not a happy hunting ground for the old gold, though. Wolves haven't won away at Arsenal since 1979. They're having drawn the last 3 here, 1 each. Only Man City have a longer unbeaten run at the Emirates. Wolves make 3 changes from the side that started against Southampton on Monday night. Back comes captain Conor Cody into a continuing back 4. Marçal is in at left back and Pedro Neto returns to Aït-Nouri, Neves and Kilman, the 3 dropping out. Wolves lining up with Rui Patricio on the occasion of his 100th Wolves appearance in goal. Nelson Semedo, Willy Bolly, Conor Cody and Marçal. Leander Dendoncker, João Moutinho, 2 holding in midfield. Adama Traoré, Daniel Penance and Pedro Neto, all supporting Raúl Jiménez. Arsenal have Bernd Leno in goal, Hector Bellerin, David Luiz, Gabriel and Kieran Tierney, Danny Ceballos and Granit Xhaka, Willian, Joe Willock, Bukayo Saka and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. We're going to pause for remembrance of Diego Maradona, who passed away this week, the Argentine, for some classed as the greatest of all time, and the Premier League is paying its respects. Respect being shown. The time for talking is at an end. It is time to produce. And there's this Wolves team going to be the one, Andy Thompson, that finally breaks this North London hoodoo.
Well, I'm hoping so. So look, we've gone out with a positive team lineup. So look, with the lads that have come in and the changes that he's made. And look, you're just hoping that they go out there and make sure they take the game to Arsenal, which I think that they will. I think that that's one of the things that they're going to look at with the formation that they're playing, that they're going to take it to Arsenal. Because, as everybody's touched on, I don't think there's anything to come to Arsenal in fear now. So it's just making sure that we do it right. So look, it's going to be interesting to say Conor Cody coming back after missing just that 1 game, which is unfortunate to happen.
Well, Wolves are going to get us underway. Pedro Neto stood over the ball and everybody will take a knee. A continued important message being sent around the world, as it is done before every Premier League game. And everyone will get to their feet. And Neto gets us underway here at the Emirates Stadium. Wolves in gold shirts, black shorts and gold socks, playing from right to left as we look at it, as Neto goes racing down the left-hand side early on. Couple of step-overs, pulls it back to Pedence on his right foot, looking to cross in from deep, and there was a sliding challenge from Xhaka that sent the ball behind for an early Wolves corner after only 20 seconds of the game.
Yeah, it was, and already you've just seen there a little bit of what you're going to expect for this evening game there. Neto down that left-hand side, just playing the ball down to Pedence. I was just a bit surprised that Jimenez had not actually made a run right across the line there, because Xhaka was struggling with it.
Wolves with the corner. João Moutinho right-footed from the left-hand side. Wolves attacking the north stand, opposite to where the away supporters would usually be. Moutinho playing it short to Neto, running round him on the outside, but Neto will cross it himself. It's headed to the edge of the box. Pedence controlled it on the chest, turns back onto his left foot, taking a little dribble to the edge of the area, playing it wide for Neto. Marçal has gone racing on the underlap. Neto almost lost control of it. It goes back to Moutinho, who looks to switch it out to the right-hand side, but he's asked a bit too much of Adama Traore, and it will go behind for an Arsenal goal kick.
Yeah, I think he's in just two minds there, wasn't he, with his delivery. So he's trying to curl it to the back post, what you could see. And he's trying to pick out Traore on that right-hand side. Just got caught in between the two and ended up just putting it out of play. But again, so like, it's definitely put Arsenal on the back foot a little bit in this early stages of the game.
Kick out by Leno to the right-hand side for Arsenal as they look to try and move it forwards, but Pedro Neto has won it back and he feeds it infield to Pedence, who couldn't quite get away from Granit Xhaka, but the ball has bounced back in his direction as he heads to the right, finds Traore just on the right-hand side of the penalty area, standing across up. It was just eventually cut out by Gabriel, and Arsenal trying to work it out towards their left-hand side. Who's Saka. A positive, energetic start this from Wolves. Aubameyang, though, as Arsenal try and hit back, racing forwards down the left again. They've got numbers arriving. It's Willock helping it on, left-hand side of the penalty area. The pull back towards Aubameyang, and it needed an interception. And Wolves will find it clear through Jimenez out to the left-hand side. Very fast-paced to this game early on.
Yeah, it is. I know we've all gone for goals in this game, and you can see why. Say both teams, attacking wise, they want to get at each other, they want to push each other back, and you just saw examples of that from both teams in that early stages.
Volley for Cody to Moutinho, coming short for it, playing the ball infield to Bolly at the base of the centre circle. To his right hand side was Dendoncker, who'd just dropped back in the defensive line. Semedo to Pedence, wide for Traore, facing his own goal. Ball comes back to Dendoncker. There's been a late challenge by Adama Traore, and they're going to pull the play back, Michael Oliver, for a free kick to Arsenal as Joe Willock went down off the ball. He's pounding the ground in frustration and then immediately picks himself up, and he is okay.
Yeah, so I was just watching the ball then, so I'm just going to see the replay here.
Well, he just stands on his foot. There's not a lot in that.
He wasn't even looking at him, was he?
Just accidentally treads on his foot as he follows through. 3.5 minutes played at the Emirates tonight. Gary's listening and watching from Riyadh. Says I would love a win, but will happily take a draw. 1-1 is Gary's prediction. There's Willian down the right-hand side for Arsenal. Flicking the ball infield towards Ceballos. Leaves it for Granit Xhaka. Willian again on the right-hand side. Low cross in that Cody is there to turn away for an Arsenal corner. Their first of the game.
I'll tell you what, you can see the intentions from both teams, can't you? Sound like they're trying their best just to get at those back lines of each team. It's like Arsenal just got a corner from here, from Willem just kicking it in there. Connor Cody just ushering it out or just getting his foot to it.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a defensive masterclass from either side tonight. But we shall see. Willian with the corner, right-footed from the right-hand side. Saka is short with him with Pedence. It's whipped into the near post. Oh, and there's a frightful clash of heads there as I think David Luiz collided in to Raul Jimenez, and immediately both sets of players calling on the medical teams.
Oh, that's both players wholehearted going for his ball there. And that was a clash of heads. You just saw him go, didn't you? As soon as Luiz coming in and Jimenez.
Real concern for both sets of players there.
Well, that didn't look good at all.
And they are going to call on more medical support. It's a Worrying signs and worrying scenes. You can see Connor Cody and others immediately going straight to try and help the prone Raul Jimenez. David Luiz still down as well inside the 6-yard box at the near post. It was a fair challenge. It was the ball whipped in and players just desperately trying to get there.
Well, I say he's going at speed as well, isn't he, Luiz? When he's clashed with Jimenez.
Yeah, it's the pace of the collision, isn't it, more than anything? And
well, the thing is, though, he's like sprinted in, and Jimenez has just got to the ball just before him as he's come flying in.
Well, they've got paramedic teams with both players now as well, and stretchers have been brought out for
Luiz is up.
Both two.
I think I can see blood on
David
Luiz.
Luiz is sat up, but receiving yet more treatment.
I think I saw some blood there from Luiz's head.
The real concern for Wolves is the lack of movement from Raul Jimenez, though he will be in the very best of hands with the doc, Matt Perry, who is such an important part of everything that goes on medical-wise as far as Wolves are concerned. Ollie Leaper, the head first team physio, out there as well.
Yeah, that's the concern, isn't it? So Luiz has got up. I know he's got blood coming from his head, but the problem that you've got is Jimenez hasn't even moved.
Still continuing treatment here for Raul Jimenez, as I know many listening to us and watching will be very much sending best wishes to him and hoping that he is going to be able to recover and be okay. Huge concern for the Mexican, who continues to be laying prone in the 6-yard box on his left-hand side in the recovery position, with a host of medical professionals offering the very best possible care and support. And it will be a rather lengthy stoppage at the start of this game, a game that had started at 100 miles an hour, really.
Yeah, well, that was just an example of it as well, wasn't it? Luiz running at 100 mile an hour in, trying to win the ball.
It was about the commitment of
it
both
was.
players.
Yeah, well, Jimenez made sure that it was his. Luiz wanted it, and he just got there just before Luiz.
João Moutinho has come over to the bench just to have a little bit of a conversation with Antonio Diaz, the fitness coach, and I think messages were being passed to Nuno as well. They do have radio connections to be able to speak to the bench, and Fabio Silva is stripped and ready to come on. Again, there's a case that we will talk about in terms of the game, but first and foremost, it is for the welfare of Raul Jimenez right now.
Yeah, making sure he's fine and good.
David Luiz has gone off the pitch behind the goal, but has sat back down as he continues to get treatment. Whether he will need to go away and get stitches or not, this will very much, I think, be the end of Raul Jimenez's evening.
Well, the concern is that I haven't seen much movement from him. I don't know if he's been told to stay perfectly still because it's a head injury.
Yeah, the Doc Matt Perry, I've talked about him in the past, Tomo.
Yeah.
He is not just senior at Wolves and been involved for an awful long time, but he's also recognised amongst those in the Premier League and actually in world sport as being one of the most senior around. And I think I'm right in saying he actually wrote the protocols for how to deal with concussion for the Premier League. Even when Wolves weren't a Premier League team, he was given that responsibility, such as the respect and high regard in which he is held. And he immediately will be leading the medical treatment to Raul Jimenez. There's an awful lot of stewards around there in their green coats as well. Wolves actually had extra medical staff that aren't usually on the bench but sit behind it, that run on to offer their support too. And every one of them will be working incredibly hard to make sure that Raul Jimenez is getting the best possible care. Looks like they're preparing to move him now onto the stretcher, just bracing him and putting some straps over his legs. As little movement as possible sometimes in the body is important in these situations.
Yeah, it is. And that's what I mean. It's look about when I'm saying he's not moving much. He's probably had instructions to stay still and let them deal with him, which is the right thing to do. And as you touched on there, he's got the right people looking after him, who are doing the right thing with him.
They're just finishing putting the straps around Raul Jimenez's legs, and of course they will take every care possible before they do try and move him from inside that 6-yard box. You can often tell, Tomo, in these situations that when it's a reaction of the fellow players, and it wasn't just don't want to say run-of-the-mill class of heads, but one of those that happens often in games sometimes when people collide. There was immediate concern from players of both teams.
Yeah, it was. And look, they're both gone for the ball. Jimenez just got to the ball a fraction before Luis. And look, these things happen in football. There was no malice, I don't think, in it. So they were just both committed to get the ball. And unfortunately, it's come with the head clash where Jimenez has stayed down. But look, that's what we want, commitment from our players as well. And he's got the right people with him. That's the main thing. He's got the right people around him, Jimenez.
Well, both sets of players have been given a couple of footballs to pass around to try and help keep them warm. It is quite a chilly night in North London tonight. There's a layer of fog that has been drifting over the top of the stadium that's just sitting in view of the top tier of the stands. Normally 63,000 inside this ground. I took a picture and put it on social media earlier of a lone Wolves flag in the corner where the Wolves supporters would be. Hopefully, of course, it won't be too long before supporters in small numbers are able to start coming back into grounds. Unfortunately, not at Molineux for the time being, with Wolverhampton being in a tier 3 area. But we hope, of course, that as more and more the levels of the pandemic continue, hopefully, to drop, that Wolverhampton can be downgraded and fans can get back in and offer the unrivaled passionate support that comes from those who follow the old gold.
It makes a difference, doesn't it? So we've been going to the games now for a few months and watching it, and the fans in the grounds definitely make a massive difference to when you're watching it.
There's some shots on the TV of a very concerned looking Nuno.
Yeah, he's
sat down in his technical area. The one thing that is always abundant at this club over the last couple of years is how much it is a family atmosphere. And when one of our family is down and needing treatment, it is a concern for us all.
Yeah, he does. He does look concerned, doesn't he? So I think they're probably just watching or replay again by the look of it on the screen themselves.
And there's been no replays on our screens, and I imagine that's the case for everybody watching at home on television as well. It's not the kind of thing that should be shown again. They are bringing out a more substantial stretcher that will wait on the side of the pitch. David Luiz, in the meantime, has had his head bandaged whilst he waits to be allowed back on. Fabio Silva is actually on the field already, joining in, playing the ball around with his teammates to try and keep warm. This has been a lengthy stoppage, and Jimenez now being carried to the side of the field where the stretcher is waiting for him. You've got to give credit to the medical teams from both clubs.
Yeah. Well, as soon as it happened, both clubs, they all run on, didn't they?
David Luiz just in discussion with the doc, Matt Perry there.
Yeah.
You can see a bit of blood down his nose and the look on his face, almost of shock really, as he tries to send his best wishes to Raul Jimenez. Rui Patricio just coming across and giving him a little bit of a pat. Players know when there's no malice, don't they, Tomo?
Yeah, exactly. And there wasn't. It wasn't nice what happened and the way that it happened. So you could see that they were both committed to the ball, and again, so it happened very quickly, and he's come running in with pace, David Luiz, and he's gone straight through Jimenez, unfortunately, who just got to the ball. Well, he's just coming. He's just in front of us, isn't he?
Yeah, there is oxygen being applied to Raul Jimenez down in front of us, and of course we will try and keep you up to date with it as the game will get back underway with Rui Patricio to play the ball forwards.
Well, the good thing about it, I think, Mikey, I know it's still hard to see, but it looks like he's got his arms fixed where he's got them bent, so at least it seems that he's conscious anyway.
Our very best wishes Go to Raul Jimenez, who is being taken down the tunnel now. Get well soon, Raul. From all those of a Wolves persuasion, part of the Wolves family, part of the pack. We're back underway then, as Patricio plays it to Bolly. Fabio Silva on for Raul Jimenez. And both teams will have to try and regroup now. And for Wolves, Fabio Silva, it's not the circumstances he would have wanted, but a real opportunity for the youngster to show what he's made of.
Yeah, he is. He said, look, looks like he's got more time than he thought he would have because of the situation, but an opportunity for him, isn't it? We haven't really seen that much of him.
Cody for Bolly. Officially, we are 16 minutes into the game. As Traore goes chasing a long ball and almost collided into Tierney, and the referee will give a free kick against it. Lots of you getting in touch using the hashtag Wolves Live to send your best wishes and thoughts to Raul, Rob Knight out in Calgary, one of those. Dave Wright, he's got his lucky Wolves top on in Southeast Wales, thinks it'll be 3-0 to Wolves. Rich Frampton gone for 2-0. Lisa went for 1-0. Kieran Darby, 2-2 scoreline. It feels like a different game now.
Yeah, it does. Because as we mentioned before, so the game started with a lot of tempo from both teams, both looking sharp, and then for that to happen, not great. But so they've got to try and pick themselves up now.
There's Neto on the halfway line. Couple of yards in from the left-hand touchline. Fabio Silva onto Neto. Couldn't quite take it in his stride. It'll be an Arsenal throw. Just past the 17-minute mark at the Emirates Stadium. At Mikey Burrows, at Wolves. Use the hashtag Wolves Live on social media to get in touch and have your say. As Leno plays it to David Luiz, who will look to try and lift it forwards towards Willian. Martinho read it, got there first, out of play for an Arsenal throw. Ceballos lifting it towards the halfway line. Semedo will nod it back over halfway. Xhaka's ball forwards. Semedo to try and take it on. Lost possession though as Willock was tracking back. And then Semedo penalised, Arsenal free kick.
Yes, a couple of little niggles going on there. A few appeals from both sets of players about some of the contact that's going on.
There's David Luiz. Infield to Xhaka. Now Gabriel. Tempted early ball over the top that will go all the way through to Rui Patricio.
Yeah, he was going to do well to get hold of that. No, I think he was after Saka, I think. Just trying to zip it into him, but he was well over hit.
Patricio with the goal kick. Looking to launch it downfield in the direction of Dendoncker. Was one in the air by Willock. Semedo nodding forwards. Xhaka heading it backwards to David Luiz. And closed down by Fabio Silva. The ball goes up to Aubameyang, who was coming back from an offside position.
Yeah, good line. Good line by the two lads at the back.
Not been entirely used to playing a traditional offside trap over the last couple of years.
Well, they've always kept a good line, haven't they? So with Conor Cody Marshall in it. And again, I know that we've gone to a four at the back, so it's going to be much of the same, making sure that everybody stays up. One unit. Again, you're just watching him there, giving out instructions.
David Luiz to Dani Ceballos in the right back position. Infield to Granit Xhaka, base of the centre circle, bringing it forwards and left and trying to feed it out to the feet of Tierney. Closed down by Traore, goes backwards to Gabriel. Infield to Xhaka, just to the left of the centre circle on halfway. Podence with him for company. Bukayo Saka playing it backwards. David Luiz for Ceballos. Trying to bring it over the halfway line. Down the right-hand side for Hector Bellerin. Goes down by Marçal. Ball went backwards to Willian. Infield to Ceballos. Bellerin again. Trying to run at Marçal. Martinho got a foot to it. The ball looped infield. Willock allowed to turn and face up towards the edge of the box and then flick the ball straight to Neto. Fabio Silva on the left, and Fabio Silva drawing the foul by Dani Ceballos and a free kick. Fabio Silva means business as the gloves come off, quite literally.
Yeah, I was just about to say that the gloves come off. He's just looking at that. I know that everybody's back defending and helping out, but when we do receive that ball, so we're all still in that back line kind of thing and level with the midfield, I think somebody's just going to have to stay up there just to give us some kind of outlet.
Volley into the feet of Traore, feeding it infield to Podence. Low to Marçal, he's only just over the halfway line, wide for Neto. Marçal had gone past him on the underlap. The ball goes infield to Matinho. He will play it wide for Marçal. Short one infield to Neto, to Marçal, back to Matinho again. A little bit of spell of possession for Wolves as Matinho finds Bolly. To Dendoncker, to Bolly. To the right of the centre circle, wide for Semedo, in towards the feet of Podence, who tried to flick it round the corner for Dendoncker. Got to the loose ball and finds Matinho just out of the centre circle. Low ball to Semedo, midway inside the Arsenal half. Good few yards in from the touchline, back to Bolly, to Cody. Swept first time to Marçal, infield to Matinho, who's allowed to turn and pick out the feet of Neto. Back to Matinho again. He's got Podence just in field. Fabio Silva coming short. The ball will go to Bolly instead, though. Now Dendoncker for Traore. Trying to spin and face towards the Arsenal goal, but he couldn't pick out the run of Podence. And Granit Xhaka trying to bring the ball away, collides with Traore, and Arsenal get the free kick.
Yeah, patient play from them. So nothing really opened up, though. That was the thing in front of them. Just trying to get something. You saw Traore there, just trying to flick the ball through. Just couldn't get it to him.
David Luiz over hitting a pass for Willian that will go all the way through for a goal kick. Oldie but Goldie says really shocking. Hope Raul will be okay. Also hopes that Raul's partner Daniela didn't see it. Worrying for her, but Wolves family here for them both. Let's hope we get a win for Raul. Rocking Chair Dave says I feel physically sick after what happened to Raul. Game takes second place now to our beloved striker. We will bring you more details on Raul Jimenez as soon as we get them. Fabio Silva is on, and it is 23 minutes gone in the game, though. A lot of that will be added on at the end. Here's Daniel Podence on the right-hand side for Wolves, looking dangerous. Checking back onto his left foot, crossing towards the far post. Bellerin's headed down. Dendoncker tried to swing his left foot at it and didn't quite get it fully under control.
Well, I think that's a good opportunity for me. So, look, I know it's come on his weaker foot and totally missed it, but what was he? About 16 yards out, central of the goal. I know it was a difficult opportunity for him to hit, but good play down that right-hand side by Podence.
There's Marçal in field to Willy Bolly. Gets it back from Cody, midway inside his own half, 10 yards in from the touchline, finds Marçal, who's closed down by Willian. Back to Bolly, looks early towards Fabio Silva, who was caught there by David Luiz. He did well, actually, Fabio Silva, to get across in front of David Luiz and draw the foul.
Yeah, that's what I think that he's got to do a lot more. So just try and get his body in there, try and give us something to go forward with. Good ball from Bolly, zipped into him, and he did really well with it.
Did get a couple of goals for the under-21s against Doncaster in the Papa John's Trophy. Goals that actually secured James Collins' side's progression to the knockout stages, where they will face Port Vale in early December.
Doesn't matter what level you're scoring at, it's always going to give you confidence if you're doing the right thing and getting goals, as he has done.
Traore losing out to Bukayo Saka. Goes back to Tierney. There speaks a man in Andy Thompson who got, 45?
Yeah, Wolves, 45.
Oh, just for Wolves, yeah.
Just 45 for Wolves. 50 in total. It's
all important to count them all, right?
Exactly.
There's Bellerin for Arsenal, midway inside the Wolves half.
Just like you count your victories on your scoring.
Win's a win, Tomo. Some of us are winners.
Score forecast from you.
Gabriel trying to set Tierney away, overhits the pass. Wolves throw deep inside their own half.
At the minute, Wolves have made it difficult for Arsenal because there's 3 or 4 times now they've tried to force the ball because they've got nothing on, and it's ended up over hitting it or putting too much on it, and that's good play from them, and that's what they've just got to keep doing. Frustrate Arsenal.
Semedo frustrated there as his attempted ball forwards rather sliced into the stand. Arsenal throw midway inside the Wolves half. Just about 26 minutes played. Bukayo Saka back to Tierney. Infield to Willock. Leaves it for Saka. Dendoncker trying to challenge. Semedo did, and the ball came off an Arsenal man and will be a Wolves throw.
Yeah.
Arsenal 0, Wolves 0. In the earlier games, it finished Southampton 2, Man United 3. Chelsea Spurs was goalless. Marcel for Wolves to try and run it up towards halfway. Finding Neto on the touchline, running past Mikel Arteta on the edge of his technical area. Pulling it back to Matinho. Across the centre circle for Bolly. Trying to find the feet of Fabio Silva. To Podence, who dropped deep. Wide out to Traore. Good move and build up this from Wolves as Traore looks to run at his man and stand his cross up. And Dendoncker, he rattles off the crossbar. Neto to follow it up, and it's in. Pedro Neto is there. Wolves get the breakthrough. It was excellent build-up play. Adama Traore's cross. Dendoncker nearly finished it off. Pedro Neto made absolutely sure. Arsenal 0, Wolves 1.
Yeah, as I said before, so like there's been some good play, some patient play from Wolves. And again, it's just crafty, just a little bit of play. Great ball out from Podence, one-on-one. Traore just dinked that ball. Dendoncker was unlucky. He crashed off the crossbar, but well followed up from Neto. Yeah, so good play. It's good play.
Best bit of play that Wolves have produced in the game.
Say Fabio Silva involved in it as well with that link up. Yeah, it's good play. It's a great ball in from Traore. Just puts it up there. Oh, I'll tell you what, Dendoncker was miles above everybody else when he's come in and crashed it across against the crossbar. But it's well done, well reacted by Neto there.
Pedro Neto's 3rd goal of the season on his 11th appearance of the campaign. The 8th goal of his Wolves career. And he has given the Wolves a lead at the Emirates. David Luiz to try and launch the ball towards Tierney. Traore is back there with him, but it came off Traore and will be an Arsenal throw. One of the Gunners got in response. We talk about Wolves having a little bit more attacking threat in this game by sheer numbers. It was the benefit there of having Neto available to follow up Dendoncker's effort.
And also as well, scoring in the first half.
Yeah, it's a rarity.
Yeah. I'm going to say, we talk about how the way they're playing second halves. For some reason, they don't score in first half. Well, they've done well today again. Got that goal, importantly.
Arsenal, though, trying to hit back. Tierney's cross in. Aubameyang was waiting, and it needed a touch from Cody. Bellerin trying to put the cross back in, hits the face of Neto behind for a corner. What a piece of defending that was, as it looked for all the world as if Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was just going to be waiting to tap this home. And I don't know whether Cody gets a touch or just does enough to put him off.
I think he just gets the slightest of touches just to help it on. Traore just getting caught there. Ball watching, just going to see it again from a different angle.
Yeah, just a touch.
Yeah, great touch.
By Connor Cody.
Great defending. Great defending.
Willian with the corner, right-footed from the right-hand side. Fabio Silva defending the near post. The ball goes short to Bellerin. Wide to Willian again. He looks across from a different angle. Headed goalwards and headed in. It's Gabriel who gets the equaliser. Wolves weren't in front for long. The set piece undoes them. The change of angle, the whipped in delivery. And a powerful header past Rui Patricio. Arsenal 1, Wolves 1, half an hour play.
Yeah, Salok, he's just got free, hasn't he? Gabriel Salok, a short play from Arsenal. Good ball in from William. He's just got free there, just watching it. Oh, yeah. He's just got a little run on it, hasn't he? We've got enough players around him, but he's just got up. Oh, yeah. So Den Donker not happy with himself as well from it.
And he got in front of Marcel, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then Donker wasn't quite able.
No, he's just got underneath it, hasn't he? Just couldn't get it. They'll be frustrated by that after taking that lead as well. Yeah, it's not something you see very often, though, is it? Wolves conceding from set plays. Usually, generally, they defend them pretty well.
Pedence for Semedo. Pushed off the ball there, and it'll be a Wolves free kick near the halfway line. Granit Xhaka protesting his innocence. Well, 1-1 has been a fashionable scoreline between these two at this stadium on the last 3 visits. Threatening to make it 4 out of 4. Still plenty of time left in the game, though, as Neto is fouled by Granit Xhaka. Free kick Wolves that Moutinho gets on with quickly. Fabio Silva using support from Den Donker. Now Semedo. About 10 yards inside the Arsenal half. Infield to Moutinho. Sweeps it to the left-hand side to Marcel. In towards Pedence, who's drifted over to the left. Neto has set off on a run. Pedence couldn't quite pick him out. An awkward one back by Ceballos that Bellerin had to slide on the touchline to keep in, and Ceballos hitting his kick straight out of play. Arteta playing ball boy.
Yeah, he didn't give him back though, did he? He stopped it.
Marcel looking to try and put a long high throw down the line towards Neto. Bellerin heads it out of play. Wolves moving their way down the left-hand side. Been in front once in the game, and they do it again. But ends backwards to Cody, to Bolly. Short of the centre circle. Oh, a mistake by Semedo, allowing Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to try and set Bukayo Saka in behind, but it needed a covering challenge by Leander Den Donker. It was a very good one as well.
It was. So as soon as he saw the mistake, he was right onto it, wasn't he, Den Donker?
Traore charging forwards onto Fabio Silva in the penalty area. Shot took a deflection behind for a Wolves corner.
Yeah, great counter attack, wasn't it? So look again, Den Donker just stopping it. Traore running at their defence with pace. Great little run. Tell you what, he caught it pretty well as well.
There's blood beginning to show through the heavy bandage of David Luiz that they are showing on the TV screens right now. In the meantime, Pedro Neto to take the corner. Left-footed from the right-hand side for Wolves. Plenty of numbers in the penalty area to aim for. It's high towards the far post. It's Den Donker's header, and somehow Bernd Leno has dropped low to his left-hand side and claimed the ball. He's hit the crossbar with one header, Leander Den Donker. A second free one there. He should have, probably feel like he should have had 2 goals.
I think that he just couldn't get any power onto it, could he? Say he's met it pretty clean. I think it was Xhaka that he was above. He just couldn't get any power on it, could he? Just needed a little bit of power on it just to get it past the keeper. But again, good delivery in.
Ceballos playing it backwards to Gabriel. Gets it from Granit Xhaka. Brings it over the halfway line. Allowed to go an awful long way forwards. Infield to Willock. Back to Granit Xhaka. Wide for Gabriel on the left-hand side. Shown infield by Pedence. Need to lift it towards Willian. Challenge with Marcel. Neto got his head to it. Marcel couldn't control. Fabio Silva first the loose ball. Traore has it. Traore has lost it though. Kieran Tierney stealing it from him inside the Wolves half. Willock. Infield to Granit Xhaka. Onto Hector Bellerin joining the attack. Aubameyang on the right-hand side. Low cross takes a couple of deflections. Cody got to the loose ball and Marcel came racing out to make sure he headed it clear. And now Pedro Neto racing forwards, and the ball comes off David Luiz. Did it? Well, they're saying it came off Neto. I think David Luiz played that off his one foot onto the other.
I thought Neto stopped there. Oh, I'm surprised at that. So my eyes must be deceiving me, but I thought that he's slid in and it's just come off his right leg and hit his left knee.
Ceballos trying to lift it over the top. Aubameyang racing in, but also racing was Rui Patricio out to claim the loose ball.
Yeah,
stop the danger.
Yeah, they need to be careful. Aubameyang's just coming out onto this left-hand side a little bit of Wolves.
Rui Patricio in possession of the ball. Good kick out, actually, to find Marçal. A couple of yards short of halfway. Back in field to Cody. Middle of the Wolves half. Playing it across to his central defensive teammate, Willy Bolly, who steps in away from the challenge of Aubameyang. Cody to find Marçal again. 36 minutes played at the Emirates tonight. Arsenal 1, Wolves 1. Marçal being closed down by Willian. Going to use support from Cody. And we'll go back to Patricio, who without obviously that natural sweeper will be involved in a lot more of the play than he's probably used to, Rui Patricio. There's an outlet for the two centre halves.
Yeah, so he's going to be the last man, you could say, where they're going to use him and utilise him a little bit more.
Here's Granit Xhaka for Gabriel, up towards the halfway line for Arsenal. And their red shirts with the white sleeves. Ball over the top, looking for the run of Bukayo Saka. Bolly came across to cover him. It came off Bolly. Will be an Arsenal corner. Yet more defending to do.
Well, it was a corner last time they unsettled us, wasn't it? Short one. And I think they'll try and play that again, I think. Just need to make sure we're picking up.
Wolves have brought everybody back to defend the penalty area. Willian right-footed from the left-hand side this time. Bukayo Saka was a short option. It'll be whipped in dangerously. It's Cody who got his head to it first. Loops high in the air. Podence tried to challenge. Ball drop came off his back and found its way to Willian. He plays it infield to Granit Xhaka, left-footed, trying to find Gabriel. Bolly with the first header away. Coutinho trying to use his body to get in front of Gabriel. Did it well and wins the free kick.
Oh, there's your experience, isn't it? He knew he was not going to win the ball against Gabriel. He's a lot taller than him, so he just got his body in there and brought the foul on. It's good play from him.
There's Connor Cody. Marçal trying to set Neto away, and it's a good ball down the left-hand side, and Neto has drawn David Luiz out with him. Neto onto his left foot, low cross in. Oh, he went all the way through the 6-yard box. First missed Fabio Silva, and then Podence couldn't quite reach it at the far post either.
Oh, what a great ball in. I think Podence is annoyed with himself as well. Just watching the replay again. Great ball from Marçal. Good play from Neto down this left-hand side. One-on-one. Oh, it's closer than I thought.
Yeah, Podence just didn't quite gamble enough, did he?
He needed to go just a fraction earlier, didn't he, Podence?
Here come Wolves again through Traore down the right-hand side, trying to get to the byline. Fizzes a low cross in. Granit Xhaka got across at the near post and cleared it away for a Wolves throw.
He's done well down that right-hand side, Traore, hasn't he? So he set up the goal. But when we start to get the ball to him a little bit earlier, I think that he's been more of a menace to them.
Semedo with the throw. Fabio Silva had come short. It went to Dendoncker instead. Semedo back into his own half. It's too far away from Willy Bolly. Cody beats Aubameyang to it and plays it back to Patricio. There's Podence inside his own half on the turn. Finding the feet of Neto. Back to Marçal. Closed down by Willian. Finding Matinho, who again has to go all the way back to Rui Patricio.
Be interesting to see how many touches he has in this game and what he usually has. So it's a lot more, isn't it?
Yeah, unusual for him. He's involved in the game again as he gets on the end of a long ball that was meant for Aubameyang. Wolves dominating possession as things stand, 55-45.
That's
4 shots to 1 as well.
Well, that's a rarity when you come to places like this where the teams are expected to be the dominant team with the ball. And Wolves have done that.
Semedo with a throw, gets it back from Dendoncker. Having to go all the way back to Patricio again. It'll be awkward to deal with. He gets control and then there's a pass out to Marçal, who's deep inside his own half. To Podence, nice first time flick in field to Neto, and Podence was pushed in the face by David Luiz. Wolves getting on with things quickly. Dendoncker up to Fabio Silva, this time out muscled by Gabriel. Granit Xhaka with an early one to Bukayo Saka, who was trying to find Aubameyang, who thankfully had ran away from it. And Cody was there first and cleared as far as Traore, who's made a good turn and a good ball early up to Neto. Neto driving on towards the edge of the penalty area. Neto trying to go it alone. The ball took a deflection and Podence trying to get to the loose one.
Yes.
Podence turns it home. Wolves restore their advantage. Brilliant breakaway. Pedro Neto strike. Denied by Bernd Leno, but Daniel Podence would not be denied. Arsenal 1, Wolves 2.
Yeah, so again, following up. So we say about people having a gamble. But so again, good link-up play. Traore, great ball out from Conor Cody. Doing really well, Traore, with the ball. And a little ball into Neto, who's one-on-one against David Luiz, running at him, has that initial shot, but it's great following him from Podence. It's great feet. Oh, great little dink-up, wasn't it?
He had an awful lot still to do,
yeah, he did.
Daniel Podence, when the ball came back to him off the feet of Bernd Leno.
Look at that, just a little dink up, just to set himself up for the opportunity. But just watching it again, oh, great little bit of skill, wasn't it?
Second goal of the season for Daniel Podence. Third of his Wolves career. And for the second time in the game, Wolves have benefited from following in. It's that ability to gamble, to be proactive.
Well, we've said it time and time again, haven't we, about people having a gamble, especially in that penalty area, the top third. Just have a go, and already we've got 2 goals from it tonight because we've had 2 people having a gamble who followed up.
David Luiz to Gabriel. Officially, we're approaching 43 minutes played in the game. There will be an awful long time being added on at the end of this first half. So there's still plenty of time to go. But if Wolves can see this through to the break now with a lead, we'll feel like it's been a job well done in the first 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Ball off Traore by Tierney. Arsenal throw. Back to Gabriel on the halfway line. Here comes Gabriel. Willock trying to drive in field. Willian on the turn. Willian caught by Matinho. Arsenal free kick in a dangerous position.
Yeah, I'm just hoping it's just going to be a little bit too far from there. What did you say, nearly 30 yards?
Yeah, the wall is a yard or 2 outside the penalty area. It's ever so slightly to the right of centre as you look towards Rui Patricio's goal. They're just trying to line up the wall now. David Luiz stood over it. Dani Ceballos stood over it. It's within the kind of range that David Luiz likes, and it will be he to strike it.
Yeah, he's fancying it, isn't he? He's lining up for it.
David Luiz hits it high over the wall and high over the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, that'll do. That'll do.
The Wolves have the lead again. Twice they've led in this game. They were pegged back early on after the first.
2 good goals, though. 2 good goals. Good following up from both players. Neto and then Podence on that second one. Is 4th official.
We're going to have the board coming up very shortly for
10
minutes is being added on. Here comes Semedo, wide for Traore. He's got support from Matinho, infield to Daniel Pedence, trying to lift it into the penalty area. Semedo hooking it backwards. Fabio Silva was arriving. Oh, and he couldn't quite get the sweet connection that he needed there.
No, I'll tell you what, he's just got underneath the ball, hasn't he? And it's just looped up into Leno's hands. But again, it's a great play, great link-up play coming from that right-hand side.
Cody being chased with Aubameyang, who gets a strike on goal from a narrow angle, but Patricio was always behind it.
Yeah, I think he just forced him wide enough, hadn't he, Conor Cody?
There's Bolly, midway inside its own half, trying to lift it wide for Pedence. Infield to Fabio Silva.
He's looked lively, hasn't he, Pedence?
Yeah, he's having a good game.
He is. He's looking very lively on the ball.
He's got it back from Fabio Silva again to Matinho, just on halfway. Back into his own half to Bolly. Now for Conor Cody. Wide for Marçal on the left-hand side for Wolves. Dendoncker on the turn. Backwards to Cody. All the way back to Rui Patricio.
Yeah, I'm just watching Aubameyang as well. He's not happy. He's getting frustrated, just chasing nothing.
Bolly looking to knock it long for Fabio Silva, and Gabriel had come up and it needed Tierney to come across, but Fabio Silva's done really well to get hold of the loose ball. Support from Traore, and now Matinho. Matinho trying to slide it into Fabio Silva, right inside of the penalty area, trying to force his way infield in it. And a tackle from Tierney that put the ball behind. He's looked bright, Fabio Silva.
He has, and Selleck did really well there, because there was two Arsenal players who you thought were going to be first to get the ball, and he was able just to get his foot to it, control it. So he did really well. But he has, he's put himself about, hasn't he? And he just had that opportunity about a minute ago where he just got caught underneath the ball a little bit.
Neto with the corner, left-footed from the right-hand side. Cody's up from the back here. We've seen him score for England. Can he do it for Wolves? It's Neto delivering it. It was just too high for Dendoncker, headed away by Granit Xhaka. Picked up by Semedo. Only man back for Wolves and under pressure from Willock. Played it back to Patricio.
I'll tell you what, I had to look twice then. Conor Cody going actually up the pitch for a set play for Wolves.
953 days since he last scored for Wolves.
Not prolific then.
It's probably the highest he's ever, closest to the opposition goal he's ever been in that time.
Well, we've become used to him just staying on the halfway line for set plays. But then we've seen him score for England.
114 appearances without a goal for Conor Cody. Ambitious diagonal ball for Arsenal, goes all the way through to Patricio.
I just think Wolves have forced them into it a little bit, though. So I think that they're forcing them to play them long balls. I've said before, is that about they keep giving it away or over hitting it. And I think that's down to Wolves the way that they're playing.
We have played about 3.5 minutes of the 10 being added on at the end of this half. If you joined us later, very worrying and concerning injury to Raul Jimenez early in the game. Best wishes and thoughts for a speedy recovery to the Mexican. Fabio Silva came on in his place, and he's racing through the middle here with Pedro Neto trying to find him, and Fabio Silva onto Traore. Traore striking it into the side netting. Oh, what a big opportunity that was for Wolves to get a third.
Oh,
such a threat on the counter-attack. Arsenal can't handle them at the minute.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm just looking at the quality of play as well. There was a couple of little flicks overheads and great ball from Marçal up to Neto. Oh, he's got to hit it across the goal there, hasn't he? Just watching the replay. But they're just cutting Arsenal open quite freely at the moment.
And if he did go across goal, Neto was closing in as well. Could have benefited for the third time from a parry out from the goalkeeper. Those 2 goals coming. First when Dendoncker had a rattled the crossbar and Neto followed in. The second when Neto struck it goalwards, bounced off the legs of the keeper, and Pedence benefited. Either side of a Gabriel header for Arsenal from a set piece. Here comes Traore up to the halfway line for Wolves. They've got numbers either side of him here. He'll go right to Semedo. Got support short from Pedence. Back to Matinho. Still 5 minutes of the half to play. Marçal. Wide to the left-hand side to Neto. Neto looking to drive infield away from Bellerin. Neto thought he was pulled back there a little bit.
Yeah, he just got surrounded, didn't he, by 3 Arsenal players as well, though. But he's looked a threat down this left-hand side, and so Traore down the right, so it's been promising to see it happen.
Xhaka for Dani Ceballos. Up towards the halfway line to Willian. For Bellerin. Back to Ceballos again on halfway. Wolves happy for Arsenal to have it in these areas. Willock turning away from Pedence into the centre circle for Ceballos. Thought about going right. Instead plays a short one to David Luiz. Continues to run it forwards and tries to cross from deep. Cody got something on it. Matinho tried to clear everything out, hit the arm of Bellerin, but Michael Oliver was going to whistle and then waves play on because Pedence got the loose ball. Dendoncker back to Matinho.
Just taking the sting out a little bit.
Bolly with a loose ball, though, that's not done now, although he's made amends by sliding in to deny Bukayo Saka.
I was just about to say, that's a rarity, isn't it, from Bolly? Usually assured with the ball.
Bellerin. Wide to the right side to Willian. 10 yards from the corner flag. Neto is back there with him. Willian shapes. Right-footed delivery. Semedo with a header from the edge of the 6-yard box. Tried to flick it on and away. Bukayo Saka, just to the left of the penalty area. Shapes, left-footed cross, deflected in. There's a brave header by Marçal. And then a second one by Pedence, and Wolves get it clear.
Well, the referee's just waving him on. He's gone down holding his face, and there's nothing in it.
Yeah, Dani Ceballos is down, and there'll be another pause for treatment for a head injury.
Well, I was just watching Michael Oliver. He's shaking his hand when the Arsenal player's gone down. Is it Pedence what's gone up with it? The arm's just not gone into his face, but he's like caught his face, hasn't it, as he's jumped? Yeah. And the referee said, look, he was having none of it, I don't think, when he first saw it. Then swung it as when he's jumped.
Yeah, I mean, you have to use your arms to jump. I wouldn't say they were wild and anywhere around. As Tomo says, they certainly weren't swinging on Dani Ceballos. And keep sending your messages into us. Use the hashtag Wolves Live. Sue from Willenhall says, brilliant goal from Neto. That first one. One packed together. That one's for Raul. David Roll, family of Wolves supporters in Gallatin, Missouri. Sends a picture in. Kits from across the years. He predicted a 2-1 win for Wolves. Did David Roll out there in the USA?
Well, I'll take it. I know I've gone for 3-2, but I'll take 2-1 if he wants.
It was Stephen Ward's prediction before the game. My prediction's obviously gone. So it's a chance for the pundits to close what's been a chasm between me and they. Offside flag against Hector Bellerin. And our prediction challenge on Matchday Live Extra. Presenter leads the pundits by 5-0. It's a thrashing so far. It's an embarrassment. That's what it is, an absolute embarrassment. And I know Chris Iwelumo will be listening, and he needs to be embarrassed.
It's luck.
Some of us have got it. Tricio to launch it forwards. Into the 10th minute being added on at the end of the first half. Tierney's clearance. Bukayo Saka, a couple of yards in from the left-hand touchline for Arsenal. Up towards halfway. Trying to set Aubameyang forwards. He would have been offside. Bolly got his header to it. Dendoncker to Semedo, back to Bolly.
I think that new rule's silly. He's miles offside.
Yeah, Nuno furious with the assistant referee.
It's offside. I know they've got to not put the flag up, but like I say, now we're in a tight situation with the throw-in, and he's clearly offside.
It'll be Semedo to throw it down the line. Traore trying to hold on to it using his physicality to Matinho, and that is the end of the first half. The first half that started with the real concern to Raul Jimenez and David Luiz. David Luiz continued on with a head bandage, which shows an awful lot of blood still coming through it. Raul Jimenez was stretchered off for Wolves straight down the tunnel. It meant Fabio Silva came on early. Wolves got the breakthrough after 27 minutes when Leander Dendoncker headed against the crossbar from Traore's good work down the right-hand side, and Pedro Neto was there to follow up. The lead lasted only a couple of minutes. A corner for Arsenal on the right-hand side. They changed the angle. Williams cross. Gabriel headed home. The Wolves were back in front after 42 minutes. It was a great run by Pedro Neto. His strike took a faint deflection, made it difficult for Bernd Leno. Ball rebounded off the goalkeeper's legs, and Daniel Pedence flicked it over one defender and turned the ball home from just inside the 6-yard box. And Wolves have been pretty decent, Tomo, all be told, in that first 45
Yeah, they
minutes.
have. So look, now we speak about Wolves coming out for the second half and being lively in that second half. Well, we've seen it in the first half. They've looked lively. They've looked menacing going forward. I think the lads up front, where we was hoping at the beginning of the show that they were going to cause a problem, and they definitely have. I think Pedence has looked sharp. Neto's looked sharp. They've both got themselves a goal as well. And there's been some good play. And look, and we have defended reasonably. I say, look, they'll be upset about conceding off a short corner. But apart from that, I think that they've done pretty well.
They have indeed. We will take a break and we'll get more of the thoughts from Andy Thompson and also of Carl Ikeme and Chris Iwelumo as well. Don't go anywhere. This is Wolves TV Matchday Live Extra.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
The Old Goal Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it.
I'd been back to Molyneux on a few occasions, and I'd never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those two games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Jodian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in from England, and even more so when, after having a tough first 4 or 5 months, that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing in this fantastic game.
Old Goal Club, My Golden Game, available now.
Wolverhampton Wanderers is a club with a bright future, but also a shining past. See the history of the club we love, from humble beginnings to the present day, in the Wolves Museum, featuring unique artefacts from our illustrious past and interactive exhibits for kids big and small. The Wolves Museum, open Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. Book online at wolves.co.uk or visit the ticket office.
Wolves TV, the home of live uninterrupted radio commentary of every single Wolves game.
Jimenez! Oh, you beauty!
But that's not all. Wolves TV also brings you extended and alternative match highlights, interviews with the team, behind-the-scenes features and training coverage, plus see every goal Wolves score from every angle.
Jota on the volley, oh, what a goal! That is simply stunning!
So check out Wolves TV online at wolves.co.uk or on the move via the Wolves app. Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
So half-time at the Emirates, it is Wolves 2, Arsenal 1. Before we do anything else, obviously, we continue to send our best wishes and thoughts to Raul Jimenez. As soon as we have any update on his condition, we will bring that to you. Obviously, we are not going to speculate as to what is going on with him, but that is to say, obviously, there was an incident early on in the game where he and David Luiz clashed heads in the penalty area. Both players had a lengthy amount of treatment, and Raul Jimenez was stretchered off. And when we do get information, we will bring that to you. As regards what happened in that first period on the pitch, with 2 goals and a generally good performance from Wolves, Carl Ikeme.
Yeah, I agree. To recover from the blow earlier must have been hard. It's hard watching as a Wolves fan, and I'm sure all of us will wish Raul the best as well. But to recover from that, we looked sharp. The first opening few minutes, we looked like we were ready to take the game to Arsenal, and we carried that on throughout the first half. I thought we looked really good down the right side with Traore attacking well, and Podence and Neto bringing other aspects into that attacking lineup. Then Donker breaking his neck to get forward, and I thought we've looked really good, and we've started to defend better as the half went on as well. And yeah, it's been exciting. I think Fabio's done well when he's come on, which is good to see, because I think we've had a few question marks because we've not seen him play and we were asking why. But a good half from Wolves, a really good half.
I want to come back to you about Arsenal's goal in a minute, but Chris Iwelumo, from a striker's perspective, that element I said in commentary of having a gamble, follow the ball in, because you never know, it could come back to you, and it paid off for Wolves twice there. Yeah,
I have to say, I think Podence, outstanding, fantastic bit of skill as well, just awareness, speed of thought, and to execute it the way that he did, outstanding. I have to say, Pedro Neto, for me, he's been outstanding. Some of the balls he's been put in the box, and you have to switch on. I think Fabio's, he's come on, and I think his touch, his movement, I think he's been excellent. I think really linked up, but again, just be selfish, be aggressive in that movement. If Neto's got the ball in the wide area, anticipate, don't react to it coming in. Podence, you could see the disappointment, because basically you're tapping in at the back if you're on your front foot there. I think Traore for the Podence goal, great little bit of trickery, and the way to pass into Neto was outstanding. I really think the front four, and I know we've lost Jimenez, and what our thoughts are with him. Fabio Silva's come on, and I think his touch, his movement, he's bringing players in. But again, it's that confidence. We've spent a lot of money on him. Go and get that goal. He's put one for Traore to kind of get a shot. Get your shot away. You're kind of at the edge of the box, coming into the box. The Arsenal players backing off from you. Be selfish. Want to be the main man. There's so many positives. Disappointing that we conceded a goal from a corner. It was attacked very well. And I just think what happened earlier in the game, that'll play in the minds. You could see the kind of distress come over a few of the players.
Well, I say we'll come to that goal they conceded in a minute. Tomo, arguably, Wolves could have had more than the 2 they've got.
Yeah, they could have. So, look, I think that they've looked really bright going forward. I think they're interchanging as well. Podence just backing them up. But 2 great finishes for me. So, look, I think Neto down this left-hand side, as Loom's just touching on there. I think Marcel's, the ball, the quality that he's put it over the top for him to run onto has been outstanding. Yeah. I think Traore has caused a problem. I don't know if Arsenal don't know if they're coming or going at times. I think that they look very vulnerable at the back. I think that the way that we're attacking them is causing them problems. I think it's just the movement. The movement's been absolutely brilliant.
I think the service, you look at Dendoncker as well. I don't think Arsenal have conceded a goal from a corner this season, but again, I just feel I've got a funny feeling Dendoncker's causing all sorts of problems, and he's got a third time lucky, isn't it? He's had 2 attempts, one off the bar, the one that it was a kind of easy save to make. Should he do better there, Keames, with that header? Should he work his feet? There's not enough power in the ball, but I guess Bellingham, he's coming towards. So if you go further towards the back, it's just direction, isn't it? It's a real hard one for a keeper to save, isn't it?
Yeah, he probably should go back towards, but he was coming onto it. He should have scored. Let's be honest. But thankfully we got the rebound. But I was just going to mention to you, Chris. We've seen Fabio come on a few times, and he's still young, isn't he? But do you think this is the perfect game for him against an Arsenal where he is technically gifted? Do you think this is the perfect game for him to come on?
Keems, you're spot on. You're spot on. You think about it, you're sitting on the bench, you're probably thinking, you know what, I might not get on, I'll probably get 15 minutes towards the end, and then what happened, you know, and straight away you could see it. He's processing it all as he's getting ready. Nuno had a good long chat to him, you know, he's came on, and I've been really impressed. You know, I think his touch, you know, bringing other players in, I just want him to be the main man, you know, be selfish and say, you know what, I'm going to get goals and have that arrogance, you know, because he's got the potential.
Yeah, hopefully that comes.
He's been thrown in, Keems.
Yeah, hopefully that comes. I'd just see what your point of view, because I think this is the perfect game for him.
I agree.
It's not going to be too physical, and it will help him grow as a player, and it'll only make him better for Wolves ultimately.
Yeah, well, I think he's going to get better and better with the quality of players that he's playing alongside. He's not going to get any better. Well, sorry, he's going to get better with the way that he plays.
How much though, Tomo, is it down to the fact that you do have all three of them around you? That, you know, you've got support from Matinho and Dendoncker, but you've got options when he's got the ball and he's been allowed to turn. And Arsenal have dropped off, haven't they, and allowed him some of that space. You've got Neto, Traore, Podence all making runs through.
Exactly. So I'm missing the link-up play that he's done. So for me, there's a couple of times where he's got two players around him, where the one in the corner, he's made his own. He's been able to get his foot to it. He's been able to lay it back for somebody else to attack down that right-hand side. And look, he's come on here and he's done really well for me. So look, because there is a question mark over him because a lot of money that they spent on him, we haven't really seen a great deal of him. But I tell you what, he's done reasonably well today. So I think that he could have got a goal or two in him as well, because he had that one shot, what just looped up for Leno, which he just got under a little bit, and say he's had half a shot blocked. So again, for me, I've said before, he scores goals in the under-18s games. Don't matter what league you're playing in, if you're scoring, you get confident, and the better you go on.
Just very quickly, because Arsenal are coming back out. Carl Ikeme on the goal that Wolves conceded. Arsenal obviously changed the position effectively from that corner, playing it short and changing the angle from the deliveries. That's something Wolves have really got to be wary of now, because obviously they don't have the extra central defender they normally would to defend those set pieces.
Yeah, I think it's second phase that they need to be careful on that. I think make sure that Dendonker's in there with him, because he's probably the next tall, especially after Jimenez going on, and really get organised from that second phase of play. But it happened. It was a great header as well. He had the run on him. I think that was the problem, and I think Podence was marking him at the time. So it's organisation after that second phase of corners, which we see so many teams get caught out by.
Confident though for the way that this second half could go?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've done really well first half. I think we started to defend better as well as the half went on as well. I was a bit worried at times about the transition when we lost the ball. We looked quite open, but Traore seems to be tucking in narrow on the one side and giving us a bit more of a solid block without the ball. And we've got four players. As soon as we win the ball, we've got four players running up the pitch to attack Arsenal. So yeah, really hopeful. I think we need to keep it tight in the next 10 minutes. I think that goes up without saying in any game, but I think it'd be important for us to do that. And we've got a lot of quality on the pitch. Podence, Neto, Traore, Fabio. There's a lot of quality there to win this game.
And just very quickly, very quickly, Chris Iwelumo, it looks like Rob Holding is coming on for David Luiz at half time. So something a bit different for Fabio Silva to be up against.
Yeah, again, I think he's shown the quality that he can handle it, deal with it. Again, obviously worrying that looked like a nasty gash as well for David Luiz. But yeah, I just feel that Holding, you know what you're going to get. He likes to get touch tight. So I think with the quality that Silva's got, I think he can roll his man. And like you say, when you've got those three in behind, breaking the neck to go up there and support and run beyond, I just think it's going to be very much the same second half. There's definitely going to be goals.
Okay, thank you, boys. More from Carl Ikeme and Iwelumo to come in the second half. Don't go anywhere.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
So just about ready to get underway for the second half here at the Emirates. It's Arsenal who get us started. Wolves playing from left to right as we look at second half, to attacking the end where the Wolves supporters would normally be. So that one change for Arsenal at half-time. Leno in goal, Bellerin now holding Gabriel and Tierney. It's Aubameyang going down the left-hand side, but out-muscled by Bolly. Wolves goal kick. Ceballos and Granit Xhaka are the midfield two for Arsenal, with Joe Willock, Bukayo Saka, Willian, all supporting Aubameyang. Wolves with Patricio in goal, Semedo, Bolly, Cody, Marçal, Dendoncker and Matinho in midfield, Traore, Pedence, Neto, all supporting Fabio Silva, Tom.
Yeah, so look, it's same as for Wolves, but for me, so look, I think they've got to do much of what they did in that first half, where they got at Arsenal, caused a big problem. We touched on it a little bit as well about gambling and linking up, and I think we've done that numerous times in that first half. We've just got to continue it.
Arsenal trying to break forward here through Willock, who is body checked by Willy Bolly, who will get a yellow card from Michael Oliver.
He just stood across him, didn't he? Yeah, so look, Willock just running with the ball there, just holding off Dendoncker. He's just stood across him and took the foul, hasn't he, Bolly?
Thou shalt not pass.
Yeah, exactly. But opportunity for Arsenal now just to put the ball into the area.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit far out to have a go from goal, and certainly with no David Luiz on the field now, it's Bukayo Saka and Willian stood over the ball. Wolves defensive line just inside their penalty area. It's Saka left-footed to cross it in. It's headed away by Cody. Tierney tried to put it back forwards. Bolly then got a smack in the face. And Wolves will get the free kick and chance to clear their lines.
Yeah, so that's better defending from, wasn't it? Better set up. So especially when that second phase happens as well. Just getting to the ball.
Yeah. Bolly, just an arm, really, a hand in the face by Holding. It's Holding again, who heads it away as Pedro Neto tried to run forwards down the left-hand side. Wolves leading. Haven't won here at the Emirates since 1979. 2 Andy Gray goals and 1 from Kenny Hibbett. Gave Wolves the victory for John Barnwell's team at the time. An awful long time ago. Hasn't been a huge amount of meetings in that time, it should be said, as Matinho goes crashing into the challenge on Granit Xhaka, penalised.
You know, I don't think that's a foul there. I think he had nowhere to go. Just looking at it again.
Only been 9.
I think he's read that.
Only been 9 previous league visits in that 41 years. Wolves haven't won any of them. Ceballos down the right-hand side for Arsenal. Infield to Willian. Forced backwards by Matinho. Gabriel inside the centre circle. To the feet of Willock. Trying to find Granit Xhaka. That's the left-hand touchline to Bukayo Saka. And now tries to cross low into the near post. Bolly was well positioned to get the first clearance. Semedo with the second. Fabio Silva giving chase up against Holding. Holding came away with the ball. Down the Arsenal left, infield to Bukayo Saka. Now taken on by Willock from out wide. Cutting infield on his right foot. Blocked off by Matinho. Ball rebounded to Tierney. Granit Xhaka getting it back from Gabriel. Bukayo Saka closed down by Dendoncker, being forced backwards. Support from Gabriel. Switched across for Dani Ceballos. Trying to run it forwards and poking it in down the right-hand side for the run of Bellerin. Dangerous cross comes flying through the penalty area. Thankfully, there wasn't a proper connection.
No, Saka was very close to getting it though.
Dangerous one in at the near post, cleared away by Matinho.
Yeah, so they got themselves left open there a little bit, Wolves. So fortunate to get away with it. What I say, it's again, so like Arsenal starting this second half a little bit brighter, having a little bit more possession. Just got to try and settle it down a little bit, just get a bit of possession ourselves.
There's Granit Xhaka on the halfway line. Arsenal, you imagine, will have a bit more of the ball second half as they try and press and make the running and get themselves back into the game. Wolves have a goal lead to defend, and they know that they're a big threat on the counter-attack with the pace that we have in forward areas.
Well, they'll be thinking about that. Arsenal, they'll be thinking about making sure that they don't give the ball away.
Well, they've done so here, and it's Podence on the halfway line. Neto racing up down the left-hand side. Neto's going to get there ahead of Holding into the penalty area. Low one in towards Fabio Silva, who tried to stretch out his right foot to it. Arsenal had enough numbers back, and it is a Wolves corner.
Well, just watching that great tackle, Dendoncker and Moutinho. Good little footwork from Podence, just laying Neto in. I don't think Holding realised how quick Neto was because he's gone absolutely steaming past him. And good run. Fabio Silva just tried to get there front. Gabriel just got the ball.
Moutinho to take the corner, right-footed from the left-hand side. Cody is up again, as is Bolly, Fabio Silva and Dendoncker. They're the four in the penalty area. Podence and Traore on the edge of the box. Neto is a short option if Moutinho wants it. They've all gone into the 6-yard box now. The four in gold shirts. As Moutinho whips it high to the far post, Dendoncker climbed. The ball is looping and plucked out of the air by Bernd Leno before Bolly could get there.
Yeah, Selloukid just looped up easy for the keeper, didn't it?
There's Dani Ceballos. Oh, a loose one, straight to the feet of Moutinho. And suddenly it's 4-on-4 here. Moutinho to the left-hand side to Neto, just inside the penalty area. Can he pick someone out? He'll pull it back to Moutinho. Moutinho to curl in it. Hits the body inside the penalty area.
I think it's hit him flush in the face, I think. Is it Gabriel?
I think so. Quite literally put his body on the line there. Went down like a boxer with a knockout.
I think he took the full brunt of it in his face, I think.
It's been over a calendar year since Jean Moutinho last scored.
Just fancied him there as well. I thought he just opened up nice for him. And he's annoyed with himself, just the close-up.
He had the time to set himself. He was in a good range, and not for the first time in the game. There is a stoppage for treatment for a head injury. He struck it well.
Oh, yeah, straight into his face, wasn't it? Full brunt of it.
He is sitting up now.
Yeah.
Played 52 minutes in this game.
I think they're looking at that other chance for Arsenal. I think it was Saka, yeah. So he just didn't get the connection he wanted.
Hit his shin, didn't he?
Yeah. Any decent connection. So because it was good ball in, I think it was Bellerin who actually put it in there.
I wonder if Semedo's just closing in there, just at the corner of his eye, Tomo, did enough to put him off.
Possibly, because they'll say you would have thought that he was done better than that. But Semedo's gone in there, just probably distracted him a little bit.
Gabriel is okay. He's on the side of the pitch and will rejoin the action shortly. As Bernd Leno has the ball. Always to Gabriel. Arsenal 1, Wolves 2. 53 minutes played at the Emirates. Long ball forwards from Gabriel. I think Semedo's actually helped that into the path of Tierney. Tierney into the penalty area, low one in, and Marsal, I think it was, who was covering around from the other fullback position.
Great position.
Traore now tries to set a counter-attack going again. Fabio Silva releasing him. Adama Traore down the Wolves' right, edging towards the edge of the penalty area, trying to go past Gabriel. He's gone down, and the free kick is going to be given against Adama Traore, and a yellow card is coming out.
Well,
all the Wolves, man.
I don't know if it's just me, but I thought that he's jumped over his leg to avoid it.
Oh, now then.
Yeah.
Now then. Whether VAR could check that.
I think he's caught him there, looking at the slow motion. Yeah.
Wolves bench are trying to get direction, and no, Arsenal have just taken the free kick quickly. Michael Oliver not interested in any kind of VAR check on that.
Well, I've seen penalties given for less than that. There's contact there, isn't he? He's gone past him.
Certainly the angle from behind the goal that we very quickly saw on our screens in front of us suggested that there might have been a bit of contact. Here goes Willock down the left-hand side for Arsenal, getting the better of Nelson Semedo. Cross took a deflection and goes onto the roof of the net, and it will be an Arsenal corner.
Yeah, I think Conor Cody's asking the question to Michael Oliver as well.
I think there's no doubt that the ball had got away from Adama Traore, but if there's contact, there's contact.
Yeah. I think it's a foul. I said we've seen penalties given for less than that.
Willian with a corner, right-footed from the left-hand side, short to Bukayo Saka. A support from Willock. Back wide to Willian again. Pedence trying to show him down the line onto his left foot. Fabio Silva at the near post turns the ball away. Pedence trying to head it clear. Bukayo Saka is then caught by Fabio Silva. And a free kick, Arsenal in a very dangerous position.
Yeah, no, this is more of a threatening position, isn't it? But 5 yards just outside the penalty area.
I think a yellow card coming for Fabio Silva as well.
Oh, there's no malice. Well, it's only a faint touch anyway on him. No, Aubameyang's on it, I think. He'll fancy that.
The card, I don't think has been. It did get it out, but I don't think I've seen it shown.
Yeah, I don't think that was a bookable offence. He's legitimately gone for the ball. Now this is where they need to make sure that the wall's right.
Aubameyang and Willian stood over it. It's a couple of yards to the left of the right-hand post of Rui Patricio, who has gone towards his left. 4-man wall for Wolves.
Yeah, this is a problem now.
All eyes on Aubameyang or Willian. Referee blows his whistle. Willian strikes it over the top and over the top of the crossbar as well. It was closer than the free kick Arsenal had in the first half, but still not troubling Rui Patricio on his 100th Wolves appearance.
No, so look, he definitely had it covered, didn't he? I think you're going to see the replay of this decision again. There's contact there with his right foot.
We'll see better from a different angle here. Right on the toe.
Yeah, he's caught
Adama Traore.
Well, again, we've seen him given.
Michael Oliver was not interested in having any kind of discussion with VAR. Here's Fabio Silva down the right side for Semedo. Tierney tracking back. Wolves throw just over 10 yards from the corner flag. Say the speed Michael Oliver told Arsenal to get on with it. Can only imagine that VAR has said, do you want to have a look? And I've said no. I know you're not a fan of VAR. Well, you did change your opinion for one game.
Oh, we must have had a decision then.
There's Traore on the right-hand side for Wolves. 10 yards from the corner flag, looking to run at Tierney. Low one in towards the near post, just turned away by Gabriel before Fabio Silva could get there. Semedo played it behind Pedence and Granit Xhaka to find Ceballos as Arsenal try and get themselves clear on a counter-attack of their own. Willian on for the run of Aubameyang, who's drawn out to the right-hand side, followed by Cody. Support from Hector Bellerin. Now Ceballos. Closed down by Matinho. Wide out to Willian on the touchline, on the Arsenal right. Up against Neto. Trying to cut back infield. Trying to pick out Granit Xhaka. Well blocked by Conor Cody. And now Fabio Silva trying to launch a bit of a counter-attack. And if he looks up to his right, he tried to feed it through for the run of Traore. It was blocked off. And thankfully, Dendoncker was following up and keeps hold of possession.
I think he's just got to put that ball into the space there. He's tried to be too acute with it, I think. He's tried to just pick it out, just put it into the space lane, run onto it.
We heard Paul Merson before the game here on Matchday Live Extra talking about how much he would have loved to play with Traore. Just play it.
Yeah.
Don't even look.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. Just put it into an area. We said before, we haven't got to play to his feet all the time. Just put it into space sometimes for him. Not going to catch him.
Bolly lifting one forwards towards Fabio Silva. Out-muscled by Gabriel. Granit Xhaka back to holding. So if you missed our pre-match build-up, featuring Paul Merson and Stephen Ward, you'll be able to watch it all back. Pedence has nipped in here and won possession from Bellerin, and Wolves have numbers racing up. Daniel Pedence into the penalty area, onto his left foot, and the shot was blocked by a sliding challenge by Hector Bellerin, trying to make amends for gifting the ball to Pedence in the first place. Wolves couldn't quite capitalise on the mistake.
Yeah, he's having a great game at the minute for Denson. He's looking lively. You can see Bellerin trying his hardest to get back. Great feet from him again. Oh, he must have thought that he had his second goal there.
Pedence making a nuisance of himself again. Back to Marçal. Further back to Matinho. Across the centre circle from him to Bolly on halfway. Semedo coming short. Semedo back to Cody, and Aubameyang was closing in, and Cody had to stretch and slide and make sure the ball was his.
Can I just say, there was only one winner then. When he's coming into it, he was making sure that he's winning that ball, Conor Cody.
Neto for Wolves. To Pedence on the left-hand touchline. You're inside the Arsenal half. Back to Matinho. To Neto. Wide for Pedence. Neto was caught late, but they play on as Matinho had made a run. Ball took a deflection, no advantage. Michael Oliver pulls it back for the Wolves free kick.
Oh, that's the third one where we've had a little bit of advantage. It's been about time. There's been 2 or 3.
Bellerin was trying to suggest that Neto was making the most of it, and Matinho raced in there and said, "Get away from my player."
Yeah.
Neto is okay. It was Danny Ceballos that made the challenge on Pedro Neto. Just past the hour mark at the Emirates. If Wolves could get a third here, extend their lead, themselves a little bit of a cushion. Matinho and Neto are both stood over the ball. Bolly and Cody are forward from the back again. It's Neto, left-footed. It was swept in low. It was cleared by Aubameyang. Marçal back to Neto. Infield to Marçal. Cross to Semedo. Semedo trying to lift it out to the left-hand side for the run of Neto. Willian right back by his corner flag. Turning, hooking the ball out of play. Wolves throw.
See, that's a decent ball for me. If you haven't got nothing else on, just put it behind them. And then just press them on. Don't make it easy for them to play the ball out. And all of a sudden, you've got to throw in a dangerous area for your team.
Yeah, it's keeping Arsenal in areas of the pitch they don't want to be.
Yeah, exactly. You got William running back towards his own goal. He's back to play. All he can do is just smash it out as he did there.
Marçal gets the throw back from Pedence. Now to Neto. Back to Daniel Pedence midway inside the half. Playing it all the way back into the centre circle to Bolly. He turns and looks to his right-hand side to Semedo. Here's Traore. Semedo blocked off. Semedo with the ball in his hands. Fabio Silva has come short, as is Pedence. Very congested area of the field as it goes to Daniel Pedence, who has to look backwards to Conor Cody. Neto's in acres of space on the left-hand side. Ball will initially go to Marçal on the halfway line. Marçal being closed down. Ball coming backwards. Patricio to try and clear to halfway. Bukayo Saka has time to bring the ball down, lifting it forwards for the run of Willock, who's trying to get in behind Semedo. Semedo recovers at the expense of a corner.
Yeah, so he just got caught for a fraction there, didn't he, Semedo? But we need to just be careful here. Well done, Pedence. Looked like Arsenal was just going to take a quick corner.
63 minutes played. Corner taken short to Bukayo Saka, to Willian. Backwards to Tierney. Wide again for Willian. Trying to make it a numbers game as Willian looks to run at Pedence and lifts his cross into the near post. It's Conor Cody reading the danger and getting across to head it behind for another corner.
Again, he's done that a handful of times, hasn't he?
Taking it quickly again. Willock back to Willian on the left-hand side, feeding in for the run of Bukayo Saka to the byline, lifting it all the way through, and it came off an Arsenal head and looped over the top of the crossbar. I think it was Rob Holding who got on the end of it. Arsenal about to make another change. Reece Nelson is going to come on for Willian. As Mikel Arteta tries to change things in Arsenal's favour.
So they've been a bit fortunate a couple of times, Wolves, where Arsenal just lacked that little bit of quality just to pick somebody else and give them a good chance, but just need to be careful, Wolves.
Nuno in deep discussion with Rui Pedro Silva on the edge of the technical area as Gabriel's header went forwards, and Semedo in a chase with Bukayo Saka, and Arsenal have come away with the ball. Semedo was pushed to the ground. It's a deep cross that Marçal heads out of the penalty area. Granit Xhaka trying to lift it out to the right-hand side. Nelson up against Marçal. Neto is over there as well. Ceballos is crossing, headed away by Moutinho. Holding to Gabriel. Now to Rob Holding once more. Out to the right-hand side to Dani Ceballos, trying to work it forwards to Reiss Nelson. On the turn, looking to drive forwards. Marçal got a good foot in. Arsenal have just about kept the ball in. Gabriel trying to lift it out to the left-hand side to Tierney this time for Arsenal, blocked off by Semedo. Arsenal throw that Tierney will take quickly to Aubameyang. Back wide to Kieran Tierney. Pretty much level with the edge of Wolves' penalty area to Bukayo Saka. I think that's Ruben Neves getting stripped off down in front of us, Tomo.
Yeah, it is. So, look, you'd think that they'd probably do a like for like with Moutinho in there. So Neves does a good job in there, just protecting that back line.
There is Holding. Cross for Gabriel. Most of the play inside the Wolves' half now. Bukayo Saka. And closed down by Dendoncker. Good pressure. Bolly thought he could get there first. Didn't quite do so. Semedo across to tidy up the loose ball. Arsenal have it back though.
Struggling just to get hold of it on the minute, Wolves. So they're defending well and pushing Arsenal across to areas where they want them, but they've had a couple of little nips at it and just haven't won it back.
There is Holding. Now for Gabriel. Over the halfway line, trying to lift it forwards towards Aubameyang, who goes down under the pressure from Marçal. Michael Oliver tells him to get up.
He's done that a few times tonight, hasn't he? He's just waving his hand, just I'm having none of it. Did it in the first half as well. I think it's Aubameyang in the first half when he's gone down.
Patricio to launch it forwards towards Traore over the halfway line. Went over the top of him. Fabio Silva couldn't get to it. Enough pressure on Tierney to make him go backwards to Gabriel, who finds Holding midway inside the Arsenal half. Now to Gabriel once more. To Willock, who dropped a little bit deeper to halfway. Trying to run it on the outside. Dendoncker tracking. All is left for Tierney. Infield to Bukayo Saka. Back to Granit Xhaka. Now to Dani Ceballos as Arsenal look towards their right-hand side. Hector Bellerin. Bellerin trying to cut infield. Little flick by Aubameyang. Wolves almost getting in each other's way. There were so many numbers back there trying to defend, and Moutinho getting the better of Bellerin, forced wide to the corner flag.
Yeah, did well.
Plays it off the Arsenal man for a Wolves throw.
Did well, Moutinho. I think that could be his last bit, though, I think. Oh, Marcel's down. He's up, he's okay.
He's okay.
Yeah.
Interesting to see who Neves comes on for here. How do Wolves try and adjust? Do they stay with the four at the back, or do they bring Neves on and push Dendoncker back in there?
Yeah, well, he's got that many possibilities now with the change in formation and everything, isn't he? Be interesting to see what he does.
Marcel's throw. Dendoncker got enough on it. Pedence with clever footwork. Finding Neto. Pedence was taken down off the ball as Neto continues on, and he's fouled on the halfway line.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a booking for Bellerin. He's grabbed Neto's arm. Yeah.
Neto was setting off at pace.
Yeah, he just grabbed hold of him, hasn't he?
Yeah, tried to give him a little cuddle.
Yeah.
It's Daniel Pedence who will be replaced by Ruben Neves.
I think he's had a good game, Pedence. He looks sharp, he looks lively, he's got that second goal.
Yeah, it's his goal that's the difference between the two teams right now.
Yeah.
I mean, effectively, you're taking out a 10 and putting in a playmaker, protector in the midfield, really, aren't you? Just moving that player from one position to the other side of the midfield too.
Well, you're just tightening it up in that central position, aren't you? With Moutinho and him in there.
Here comes Neto down the left-hand side for Wolves. Trying to find some space to whip across in. Oh, Fabio Silva was close to it. Really close to it in the 6-yard box. Flashed past his forehead.
Oh, what a ball. What a ball in.
Oh, so close.
He was. It's a great ball. If he just got anything on that, that's a goal for him.
Tierney's throw down the line. Willock being held by Semedo. Arsenal free kick just in front of Nuno's technical area. 20 minutes to go. Wouldn't rule out more goals.
No. Well, both teams are having to go, more so Arsenal now. They're in a hurry to do everything.
Holding up to halfway. Big high diagonal trying to get Bukayo Saka away. Semedo got something on it. Saka infield, but it was behind Tierney. And Neves, if he could have released Traore there, Tierney was out of the game.
Yeah, you could see what he was trying to do. He was just trying to roll it into the space for him to run onto. But Tierney had read the situation, hadn't he? That was the instance where he had to play it to his feet.
Holding for Granit Xhaka. Wide to the left-hand side for Arsenal, for Bukayo Saka. Tierney on the overlap. His cross in, deflects and is hooked away from inside the 6-yard box by Cody. Yeah. Wolves defensive 4 are standing firm for the time being.
Yeah, they're definitely up in the level now, though, aren't they, Arsenal? They're definitely up in the tempo towards the Wolves' goal.
Tierney's throw. Granit Xhaka. Willock. To the left-hand side, trying to cross. It took a deflection off Dendoncker. Again, it was Connor Cody getting across in front of Aubameyang. Arsenal still have the ball, though. Bolly showing great strength and anticipation to get in front of his man. And now with an excellent ball to try and release Pedro Neto, who's got Bellerin isolated. And he's got the pace to beat him. And he thought about crossing it. Fabio Silva had made a great run across his man. The frustration clear to see from the teenager that ball didn't come in.
Yeah, but he was the only one in there. That Arsenal had 3 defenders in there. It was going to have to be a good ball in for him to reach it. But again, so he just took his time, kept possession of the ball.
Semedo, good ball down the line. Dendonker's made a clever run. He lifts his cross in. It's too high for Fabio Silva. Bellerin will turn and just hook the ball out of play. And not only is this a little bit of a good spell from Wolves, but it's just easing and giving the defence a bit of a breather.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I think that's what the lads in there, Traore and Neto, give us to the team, where they can take that little bit of pressure off them by keeping it up into that top half of the field.
It's territory more than anything, isn't it, really?
Yeah. It's just keeping possession of the ball. Just say if Arsenal haven't got it, it just takes the sting out of the game for them. But also as well, Arsenal are desperate to get that second goal.
Oh, Patricio with a mistake. Aubameyang has stolen it from him on the edge of the Wolves penalty area. It's Aubameyang to strike it low, and it's Cody who gets across in front of him. And Cody for a second time couldn't quite clear it though. Danger's not fully over. Here's Granit Xhaka, wide again to Aubameyang, lifting a right-footed cross in, headed away by Ruben Neves. Wolves were just playing it around at the back, and Patricio showed too much of it to Aubameyang. Here's Bukayo Saka. Aubameyang on the edge of the box, closed down brilliantly by Martinho. Fabio Silva trying to spin his man and get Wolves going on the counter-attack. Back to Semedo. Down the line for Neto.
Oh, well played.
Fabio Silva for Dendoncker. Well, Wolves, they've gifted it here to Reece Nelson. And it's Arsenal racing down the right-hand side again. Low one in and turned away by Willy Bolly from inside the penalty area. And
so we've done really well. We're causing our own problems, haven't we?
Oh, you're not wrong there, Tomo.
Done really well, win the ball back, but just making life so difficult for ourselves.
Ceballos, Willock, 25 yards from goal. Onto the left-hand side of the penalty area for Bukayo Saka, who stands his cross up into the danger zone. Comes all the way through to Nelson, who strikes it over the top of the crossbar.
Oh, well, Nuno's bringing somebody else on.
He's seen enough. He's called Max Kilman back.
He has, and rightfully so. Self-destruct button's been pressed, I think.
I think the message has gone. We're going back to 3 at the back here.
But we've looked comfortable. So look, we've defended well, but for whatever reason, we've just been very sloppy with the possession of the ball, just switched off a little bit.
Well, Rui Patricio hasn't made many mistakes in his 100
No.
Wolves appearances. You need a touch of fortune as a goalkeeper, and he got it there.
Yeah, he did. He was lucky where he was, and he was at a bit of an angle.
Bolly trying to clear it. It hit the back of Willock, who was on the floor. And Bolly's second header presented to Bukayo Saka. He won a tackle fairly on Saka, though, stayed down. The Wolves have given it back again to Reece Nelson inside their own half. Hector Bellerin racing up on the right-hand side. First time cross. Moutinho there to block it. Neto infield to Neves. Back to Cody. Wolves calm and composed, finding Marçal to bring it forwards.
Yeah, we haven't really got Traore in the game in this second half, have we? So look, he's not been as important as he has been in that first half. Just need to try and get him in a little bit.
Bolly up towards Traore. I imagine it will be one of Traore or Neto, perhaps.
Yeah.
Replaced by Kilman.
You'd think so. Just reassure that defence.
Neto arguably has been a bit more of a threat second half, but then Traore is Traore.
Yeah. He's always got that in his locker, hasn't he, Traore?
Gabriel with an attempted big diagonal ball that Marçal has to head out of play for an Arsenal throw again. Just about midway inside the Wolves half. We have 14 minutes to play, plus time to be added on. Wolves protecting a 2-1 lead at the Emirates. Looking for a first win away at Arsenal for 41 years.
Well, they've got an opportunity, haven't they? They've got a chance to do that. Just got to be a little bit more clinical with the ball. There you go.
Granit Xhaka misplacing a pass that goes through for a goal kick.
I think the change will come now, I think. No, they're still taking the time with it.
Max Kilman just getting some final instructions from Rui Pedro Silva down in front of us. Rob Knight says, can you ship me a defibrillator, please? Richard listening from South Africa, sending best wishes and speedy recovery to Raul Jimenez. So when we have any news, we will, of course, bring it to you. As to the condition of Wolves' Mexican striker. In the meantime, Marçal has intercepted and bringing it over the halfway line. Wide to the left-hand side to Pedro Neto. Fabio Silva waiting in the middle. Neto will go backwards to Marçal. To Neves, just inside his own half. Neves trying to switch it. What a pass by Ruben Neves out to Traore. And only a slightly heavy touch by Traore allowed Tierney to get to him.
Yeah, great ball, wasn't it? 70-yard ball straight to him.
Here comes Kilman.
Yeah.
And it's Fabio Silva who's being replaced. The sub is being subbed. It's a shame for him.
He's done well up there. He's battled hard, hasn't he? As I said, there's always been a few question marks because of the price tag and what he's going to do, but he's looked better tonight.
So it's Traore and Neto up front. The pace, I imagine, just to be able to hit on the counter.
Yeah, that's what it'll be. You don't need that central one because Neto can do that. And Traore, they've both gone a little bit more central, haven't they?
All force of Moutinho tried to deflect towards the path of Traore, who's putting some real pressure on Gabriel. Moutinho tried to win it as well. Unfortunately, Arsenal just able to work it back to Holding. Now Bellerin. Still inside the Arsenal half. Rob Holding. High one out towards Tierney, just over the halfway line, a yard in from the left-hand touchline. Back into his own half to Gabriel. And showed wide by Neto. This is Tierney inside the Wolves half. A short 5-yard pass to Willock. Alexandre Lacazette is being ready to come on for Arsenal. And their third and final change. Granit Xhaka finds Bellerin. 30 yards from the Wolves goal. Out to Nelson. Looking to run at Marçal. Trying to cut back infield. Left foot cross takes a huge deflection. It's headed away by Cody. It's wide to the left-hand side to Tierney. Cross in, cleared away by Dendoncker at the near post, and Arsenal get the throw.
Yeah, they're having to get themselves organised and try and stop Arsenal coming in.
Neto trying to challenge with Gabriel. Semedo couldn't quite get there. The header is flicked onto Danny Ceballos to Willock inside the penalty area and overhitting his cross. That took a deflection though. It will be an Arsenal corner.
Yeah, they're increasing the pressure, aren't they, Arsenal? They're throwing everything at it.
May have been going for a shot there.
Yeah, he was.
Deflection.
I think he was going for a shot. Just come off Neves, I think.
Granit Xhaka is the man replaced for Alexandre Lacazette, who scored the all-important second goal when Arsenal won at the Molineux back in the summer.
Let's hope you don't repeat that tonight, scoring.
Corner, right-footed from the right-hand side, hanging into the danger zone. Up went the heads, it comes to the edge of the penalty area. Aubameyang trying to put it back into the danger zone. Wolves had enough bodies back there to clear it, but Neto couldn't control it. And Arsenal have it again. Reece Nelson from the right-hand side, crossing towards the near post. It was Moutinho with the first touch, and then Neves with the second out of play. This is nervy with 9.5 minutes to go.
It is. It is. It's got to stay strong. If you get a chance, can we take it? Because the two he's left on, they're going to be a threat against Arsenal because they're throwing everything forward now, leaving themselves open a little bit.
Bukayo Saka trying to run at Semedo on the outside towards the byline, 5 yards from the corner flag, pulled back to Tierney. Tierney now trying to have a go on the outside, closed down by Dendoncker. Bukayo Saka infield to Ceballos, into the centre of the half to Reece Nelson. His ball is behind Hector Bellerin, who has to track back out wide to get hold of it. Back to Nelson again. Wide once more for Bellerin, who tries to cross from deep, hanging delivery, and it goes behind. It was dangerous. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was closing in.
Yeah, I think they just put enough pressure on him, didn't they? Got a little bit more contact with him. But we've got to try and stop the cross. We don't want too many of them coming in. Oh. It was close.
I think Semedo did just enough.
Yeah, I think he just did.
We've got an update for you on the condition of Raul Jimenez. We are told that he is conscious in hospital and responding to treatment. That's the latest we have on the condition for Raul Jimenez. Conscious in hospital and responding to treatment.
Oh, that's good then.
We'll continue to keep you up to date with what is happening with him. As soon as we get information, we will bring it to you here on Matchday Live Extra. We continue to send our thoughts and best wishes to Raul Jimenez. Wolves leading by 2-1 here, with 7.5 minutes of normal time to play. Kieran Tierney on the left-hand side, crossing from deep, dangerous delivery. Cody's header went backwards. Marçal with the second header away. Ceballos nodding it down for Bellerin. Back infield to Ceballos, wide for Hector Bellerin, forced out towards the corner flag. Back to Ceballos, takes one touch, then tries to scoop it into the danger zone. Reece Nelson attempting to put it in the box, and Moutinho using all those years of wily nous to get it clear, and Wolves get a free kick for a handball.
Yeah, just take the time with it now. Nelson's went and got the ball, brought it back to the spot where he handballed it. We've just got to take the time with everything now, as they are doing.
Less than 7 minutes to play at the Emirates Stadium. Cody with a long one forwards that was something for Traore to chase, but Leno grabbed it on the extreme right of his penalty area.
Yeah, just needed to stay at the penalty area, didn't we? Been a great ball, just fraction away from it.
There's Bukayo Saka. Now support from Willock. To Bellerin, 25 yards from goal, out to the right-hand side to Nelson. Nelson trying to run at Marçal. Cutting back, Bellerin. Ceballos trying to scoop it back to Bellerin again. It was closed down quickly by Marçal. Ceballos, wide to Bellerin once more. Little deflection on that ball, send it into the path of Traore, and Traore's just got to set off, and he's got Neto to his right if he needs him. He might not, though, as Traore continues on. Now he feeds it to Pedro Neto. Neto onto the edge of the penalty area, scooping across towards Dendoncker, who had to stretch his right foot to try and reach it, and all he could do was turn it behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, that was a great break, wasn't it? And again, Dendoncker getting up with Traore and Neto. just over hit, wasn't it, from now? You could see what he was trying to do. Just pick him out at that back post. He's worked hard up there, hasn't he? Neto, I think he's done well.
Bolly will get there ahead of Aubameyang and clear the ball down the right-hand touchline. It has gone out of play. It's an Arsenal throw. 5.5 minutes left to play. Both sides have made all their substitutions. This is the real tense and nervy stage now.
Oh,
Can Wolves see the job through?
It is. It's got to stay strong now, haven't they? That back four is going to, well, back three now coming on. Going to be tested.
Here come Arsenal down the right-hand side through Bellerin. And it actually bounced back off the Arsenal man.
There you go. There you go. Take out all the luck you can.
Well, 2 years ago, Arsenal Arsenal got a late equaliser through Henrik Mkhitaryan with 4 minutes to go after Wolves had led from the 13th minute. Ivan Cavallero was on the score sheet that time. Here last season, it was Wolves who got a relatively late goal when Raul Jimenez scored after 76 minutes to cancel out Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Here in 2020, as Traore is fouled just short of the halfway line by Rob Holding, who throws the ball away in frustration, and he will get a yellow card for his trouble.
Yeah, he needs to be careful, especially when he got his yellow card out as well. He was away, wasn't he? Traore. He's just opening his legs up there. Oh, yeah, he's got it. He's grabbed him, hasn't he? Basically put his arm over his shoulder.
Less than 4 minutes to play, plus time to be added on. Kilman going to stand the ball up towards Dendoncker, who gets a flick on in towards Neto. Ball is cleared to Neves. Traore, Martinho. Wide to the left-hand side to Marçal. Back to halfway to Kilman. Goes down by Lacazette. Finds Cody. Wide to Kilman again. Happy enough to play it infield and right-footed forwards. Headed away by Holding to the halfway line. Flicked on by Willock. Cody trying to get a foot in. Did just enough. Bukayo Saka. Now Martinho's foot in. Is going to send it wide. Neto giving chase with Tierney. Ball's gone out of play. Arsenal throw.
He's chased everything, hasn't he, Neto?
Shattered, isn't he?
Oh, he has. He's absolutely chased everything. He's got a goal. He's chased everything down. He's worked so hard for them. You just look at him there. Look, he does look shattered. He's got about 3 minutes left of this game left, hasn't he?
Gabriel for Willock to Bellerin. 10 yards over the halfway line. Out to the right-hand side to Nelson. Being shown in field by Marçal and Martinho. Turning back, though. Bellerin set off on the overlap. Here is Hector Bellerin. 10 yards from the corner flag. Nelson has continued his run, and across came Kilman. And made sure it went out of play.
Goal kick.
It's given us a corner.
Oh. Tell you what, the assistant referee was pointing towards the goal kick area, I think.
Wolves trying to stand firm with less than 2.5 minutes of the 90 left to play. Reece Nelson, right-footed from the right-hand side. Everybody in a gold shirt back inside their own penalty area. Nelson with one arm in the air, lifts it towards the near post. Martinho with a free header away. Bellerin under pressure from Neto, back to Bernd Leno, who is up towards the centre circle here. He looks to switch it out to Tierney. It'll be closed down by Dendoncker, and so it goes all the way back to Leno again.
Oh, we'll take that. Keep passing it back to the goalkeeper. We'll accept that.
Less than 2 minutes of the 90. Gabriel. It's Arsenal 1, Wolves 2 at the Emirates. Cody against Lacazette. Lacazette just got there first. And a free kick for Arsenal and a yellow card for Connor Cody.
Well, just pushing everybody up there from the back. Just need to be careful and switched on.
Arsenal wanted to try and take it quickly, and Neto stood in front of them, slowed it down. Bukayo Saka stood over the ball, left-footed, ready to try and whip this into the danger zone. He lifts it high towards the far post. Up go the heads, and it's a Wolves one who gets it away. Chase on for Dendoncker towards the corner flag. He won't reach it. Arsenal throw.
Nah, I think it was Marcel again. So just got his head to it, just flicked it away from the danger area, as you could say.
Final minute of the 90. How much time is going to be added on? Ceballos hooking the ball in field. Martinho with a brave header away. Neto trying to get the better of Tierney, and he's setting off at pace, and he just didn't quite put enough on his ball that he tried to play around the outside of Tierney to give him chance to get round him.
No, so look, he just needs to knock it a little bit further forward, doesn't he? Just give Tierney a little opportunity to get the ball.
Willock on the left-hand side for Arsenal. Infield to Ceballos. Matinho went flying in with a challenge. They play on. So Arsenal still have it. Now they will pull it back for the free kick. Here comes the fourth official's board. It'll be 4 minutes.
Oh.
4 minutes left to play. 4 minutes of torture for those who hold the old gold dear. Searching for a first win away at Arsenal.
Yeah, well closed down, Matinho.
Since 1979.
Oh, well played.
Last 2 games, he has come roaring back, João Matinho.
He has. He's effective, isn't he? So he's experienced in there, knows what he's doing.
Senior man in the team at 34.
Still a young man. Still a young man.
He's getting close to 700 club games, you know.
Oh.
And still he's chasing. And now Wolves have won it high up. And Neto is brought down there by Tierney. And Tierney is going to go into the referee's notebook.
I'll tell you what, if he hadn't got him there, they were away, because Traore was away down this right-hand side as well.
It's one of those that almost should be more than a yellow, but maybe not quite a red.
Yeah, when
He's
you
made no attempt to get the ball.
No, when you talk about being clinical, and he has been there, Tierney. He knew he had to stop him.
Wolves free kick. Dendoncker is the most advanced man. Neves is suggesting that he's going to try and just dink this towards the corner, which he will do, and Dendoncker giving chase. Dendoncker trying to hold it up by the right-hand corner flag with 2 Arsenal players around him. And he had a little tug on the shirt of Gabriel, and Arsenal will get a free kick. And we have just over 2 minutes left to play.
He's another man who's had a great, done a right shift, hasn't he, Dendoncker? Been up and down.
Bellerin, infield to Holding. Going to try and hit a big diagonal towards Bukayo Saka, midway inside the Wolves half. Backwards to Tierney. Infield to Dani Ceballos, closed down by Traore. Holding to try and bring it forwards. Out to the right-hand side to Reece Nelson. Nelson trying to go on the outside of Marçal. Stands his cross up into the danger zone. Dendoncker is back there to head it clear. Tierney on the edge of the penalty area, firing it back through. It took a deflection, and Marçal puts his foot through it and clears. Holding gets to the first header. A second one forwards. Lacazette helping it on. Kilman will just put his foot through it and launch it downfield as there is 90 seconds left to play at the Emirates Stadium, with Wolves searching for a first win here since 1979. 41 years of hurt maybe coming to an end if Wolves can just hang on for 1:20 still to play as Dani Ceballos brings it forwards. Out to the right-hand side to Reece Nelson. Arsenal are pouring men into the penalty area, but the cross is headed away by Kilman from the edge of the penalty area again as Ceballos picks up on it once more. Out to the left-hand side it goes to Bukayo Saka, closed down by Semedo. Bukayo Saka trying to turn back in front of his right foot. Cross took a little deflection. It's Bolly who heads it clear, but not quite close enough to Semedo. Tierney will try and cross from deep, this time a header away by Neves. Hector Bellerin will try and gets the loose ball. 55 seconds to play. It goes out to the right-hand side to Reece Nelson. One touch, cross in, hooked away at the near post by Ruben Neves, just inside the penalty area, and it comes off the head of Hector Bellerin, and it will go out of play for a Wolves throw with 40 seconds left of this game at the Emirates Stadium.
Yeah, you would hope that now the Wolves are just going to run this down. Use that experience, Marcel. Just take your time. The referee's telling him to hurry up. There's no chance of that.
Throw in taken quickly to Matinho, who looks to lift it in behind for Traore to chase. Holding there first, plays it back to Bernd Leno. 20 seconds are left by my watch. Here comes the ball forwards. It'll come to Bukayo Saka. Saka trying to turn back in field. It's Willock to Bukayo Saka. We're into the final couple of seconds here. Semedo chasing with Willock, and the final whistle goes, and Wolves have done it. The first win away at Arsenal since 1979. 41 years the old gold have had to wait. A victory given to them by first half goals by Pedro Neto and Daniel Pedence. The effort, the intensity, the character, the work rate, everything was there in abundance from this Wolves team in that second half performance. They held on. They get a massive, big 3 points. What a performance. What a victory. Arsenal 1, Wolves 2.
Yeah, I think that's been an all-round great performance from us. And we said about Wolves don't come out till the second half. Well, they've done it in the first half where they did do the damage, got the 2 goals. But they've played really well. They've had to defend towards the end of that game for long spells where Arsenal threw everything at them. But what they've done, they've got themselves through it. They've got themselves the 3 points, as you've mentioned in there. And look, whatever the team is at Arsenal, they're not the team that they used to be, but you've still got to come here and put in the performance, and they've done that today.
Yeah, it took a lot of character to recover, especially after losing their talismanic striker, Raul Jimenez, early in the game. Our official word that we have through is that Raul has suffered a head injury and is being assessed with a scan at a London hospital. No more information at the moment. That's what we are being told. Raul suffered a head injury in the first half and is being assessed with a scan at a London hospital. No more information at the moment. So we'll take a quick breather and then we'll get the views of Andy Thompson, Carl Ikeme and Chris Iwelumo on a historic victory for Wolves here at the Emirates Stadium, where it finished Arsenal 1, Wolves 2.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
The Old Goal Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it.
I'd been back to Molyneux on a few occasions, and I'd never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those 2 games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Jodian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in from England, and even more so when, after having a tough first 4 or 5 months, that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing in this fantastic game.
Old Goal Club, My Golden Game, available now.
Wolverhampton Wanderers is a club with a bright future, but also a shining past. See the history of the club we love from humble beginnings to the present day in the Wolves Museum, featuring unique artefacts from our illustrious past and interactive exhibits for kids big and small. The Wolves Museum, open Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. Book online at wolves.co.uk or visit the ticket office.
Wolves TV, the home of live uninterrupted radio commentary of every single Wolves game.
Jimenez! Oh, you beauty!
But that's not all. Wolves TV also brings you extended and alternative match highlights, interviews with the team, behind-the-scenes features and training coverage, plus see every goal Wolves score from every angle.
Jota on the volley, oh, what a goal! That is simply stunning!
So check out Wolves TV online at wolves.co.uk or on the move via the Wolves app. Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Victory away at Arsenal for the first time since 1979. I will never get tired of saying that. What a performance from this Wolves team, who twice got themselves in front. The first time was paid back relatively quickly in that first half, but the second half, really, the performance to dig in and do what they did to get the 3 points was very impressive. That's at least from my point of view. What did our pundits make of it? Carl Ikeme, what were your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good performance, a really good attacking performance as well. And obviously we had to ride it out for the last 20 minutes. I don't think I've been that nervous for a long time watching the last 20 minutes of that game, but that's part and parcel of football. You're going to have moments where you're under the cosh. Nuno had to change it to try and get some more defenders on and get some more bodies in the box as well to help us out. And we've seen it out, and, you know, we thoroughly deserved the victory. And another interesting formation, interesting performance, and I'm sure we're going to ask him more questions. What's he going to do next game? Is he going to stick with it again? I think them questions are still going to be asked. But yeah, a lot of positives to take tonight, a lot of positives, and I was really impressed with us.
Well, Chris Iwelumo, talk us through some of the positives that we will take away from this performance.
We're in the top 6. You know, again, you talk about small progressions. We tried a new formation. We looked really threatening. We got in the lead. We protected that lead the second half. No shots on target from either side. I think Arsenal had 9 shots and we had 3, none on target, but seen it out. You know, we've seen that ugly side, that defensive side of the game against Leeds. And again, we know that we've got that in the bank. Nuno brought on, we've got depth and quality. Players coming on, defensive players coming on, knowing their job, knowing their responsibility. And even then, you know, Bellerin, Tierney, they took yellow cards when we were on the break. You know, I think Neto and Traore were off, and Tierney's took Neto down there. And it was a must, because we were going to ask some questions, weren't we? I think it's a professional performance. Absolutely delighted. I think it was thoroughly deserved as well. And like you say, there's so many positives to take. If you look at individual performances, Matinho again was all over the place, covering all blades of grass. And Neto, for me, he's an absolute threat. Every time he gets the ball, how do you defend against him? If you try and go tight, he can run past you. You know, he's technically gifted. And you know what? His final ball, is it just me, or is it just getting better? It's on the money. Oh, I'd pay money. I'd pay money just to play. I'd pay money to play with him. You know that? Because the goals, to be fair, I'd make it back with the goal bonuses, to be fair, but unbelievable. His service is ridiculous.
Tomo?
Yeah, so I thought Neto was outstanding tonight. I thought that he just run and run. We just saw him there. He's absolutely shattered towards the end, but every time the ball come to him, he was positive. He was trying to get at the back line of Arsenal. And again, so look, I thought Traore played really well. Dendoncker in the middle. Good performance from him as well. Because I'll tell you what he covered some ground tonight. So you looked at Neto and you looked at Traore, and in front of them there's Dendoncker playing in that centre forward position at times. So I just think that's what we want to see from our team. We know we've got quality. Okay, we've changed formation, and again, it just shows us the quality of players that we got. We can change formations as well.
Do you remember when we spoke to I can't remember the gentleman's name, Pedro Neto's coach, as he was coming through, and he actually said that Pedro Neto in the next 3 seasons, if he's consistent enough, will be in the top 10 players of the world. Now, you think about that, we all kind of thought, yeah, okay, we see little flashes of it. But tell me something, if you go mark this guy tight, he can go by you. Not only with the pace that he's got, with the technical ability he's got. If you don't stick with him, he's got the quality to pick a pass out. You know, he scores goals. Tell me, he's ticking all boxes for me. But again, consistently doing that for a couple of seasons, you know what? It just shows you the quality of what the coaches see in these people. To actually see that, that's a massive statement.
It's only going to get better.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Antonio Pereira, I'm reliably informed by our excellent producer, Yanni, was the gentleman that Chris Iwelumo was referring to. It's one of those things, isn't it, though, Keems, where, you know, it almost feels like I don't want to just pick out Pedro Neto, because I thought Daniel Podence did really well and was a threat when he was involved. Adama Traore, we could go through the entire 14 or so that played.
I was just thinking that question marks whether Cody could play in a 4. I thought he was really good tonight. Barley was really good. Martino was excellent, really good tonight. Covered every blade of grass, interceptions, and like we said about the front four. Fabio's movement was good at times as well. Glad to see him get mints in the belt, but they bring something different. Each one brings something different. Pedence has just got a lovely flow, a drop of the shoulder. You're seeing his goal, it's like time stood still for him a little bit because it happened so quick, and for him to just flick it over the player's boot and bat it in. Traore was brilliant. You know, it's exciting. They all bring something different, and that's what's enjoyable about the front four. And hopefully Jimenez is fine, and with Fabio coming in, they bring something different going forward. And Pedence has got that bit of magic as well. Neto's got pace, delivery, a goal. Traore's got the pace, delivery. They've all got something different, and they're really enjoyable to watch. And I wonder how Nuno's is he going to keep doing this now? Is he going to keep playing all four? We've seen Liverpool do it recently as well, and it's really exciting to watch. And what it does allow us to do, it allows us to inset play higher up the pitch. Yeah. Because with them four pressing the back four and the holding midfielders, I think especially first half, we got a lot of interceptions higher up the pitch. And then when you got them four running that, no team in the Premier League wants that.
Gentlemen, do you think you can play the four of them if you play a three at the back? Do you not think with going four at the back, and I know the principles are still the same with the full backs or wing backs or whatever you want to call them, but it basically says, you know what, if we're solid enough at the back and we've got our back four and then we've got the two protecting, so our six, it allows that front four to go and do whatever they want. They can move around and gives them a certain freedom. But I guess when you've got the wing backs, I guess the front three, the two that are in behind the one, has got to be a little bit more compact. So I think it works for that. We looked a complete threat when we were at a four in the first half.
I think it's possible. I think what it gave us first half was options on the border with the way that we played. I think you had Pedence and Neto dropping off, Traore dropping off at times, and I think it gave us options on the ball, which sometimes I think in the wing-back positions we've not had as much as recently. We've not been as free-flowing. I think we've said it a few times. We've been good, okay at times, but not really controlled possession. I'm not saying we controlled possession all night today, but I think there was times where we had passes into Pedence's feet, into Neto's feet, where at times we found it difficult as well. So I think I was thinking the same as you, Looms, in the second half. Is there a way we can get him into the 3-5-2 or whatever, however you want to call it, formation that we generally play? I think there's an opportunity to do it, but will he change it after winning? I'm not too sure.
Because you're just looking at that as well. So look, and then lads, what you just mentioned about the front four, they work so hard when we haven't got the ball as well. And if you've got players up there who've got the talent what they have, who can cause problems for any team going forward, but also as well when we do lose the ball, that they work so hard back. Say, you just watch them and Traore's added that to his game as well. He helps out. Like I said, I think it was Mikey who said, look, he was in the right back position a couple of times. Or it was Yanni, sorry. Yeah. He was in the right back position a few times. Traore helping out his team, and that's what you want from your players. If you can get 11 players who work so hard and the talent what they've got going forward, you're not going to go far wrong for me. So look, I think that you're going to get more games, more wins, and I say, look, and better performances like we have this evening.
The one thing that was really interesting though in that second half was there was a brief moment where Rui Patricio nearly gifted it to Aubameyang on the edge of the penalty area. And then about 30 seconds or so later, Wolves then tried an audacious crossfield ball that went straight to Reece Nelson. And obviously, you guys wouldn't have seen on the TV, but down in front of us, Nuno immediately called for Kilman to say, right, I've had enough.
Hurry up.
We're bringing on an extra defender. But this is the flexibility, Looms, that they now have to be able to do that.
Yeah, and the depth. You know, again, Kilman coming on. And then we did see that three, but more so, I think, Semedo and Martial, it was like a back five, but it was just to see out the game. You know, and it's something like you're saying, we can play a back three, a back four. It's another dimension to the way that we want to go about business. And you've asked Paul Merson that very question at the start. You know, it's only a positive. It can only be a positive if we can go and win games with different formations. During a match, probably a formation should change 2-3 times anyway through a match, whatever scenario that it throws at you. But again, it shows good management. Like Patricio, he doesn't take bad touches, and we're all like, what's going on here? For the next 5 minutes, we never got out of our defensive third. But again, as soon as I think the shot went over, and you could see Patricio just having a little word, right? Yeah, let's get it calm.
Yeah, but good. You know that all these goalkeepers think they can play outfield and think that they've got all these abilities.
You've seen it, Mikey. You've seen it. Yeah, but we did have a little bit of a wobble, but that happens in every game. There's always a little bit of wobble, a bit of pressure, and we spoke tonight how we can flip between the formations as well. Will it be a role reversal now? Will we go from it from the start and then revert back to 3-5 to see the game out? What I enjoyed about them changing to the 3 at the back was the confidence to do it on the 70th minute and say, do you know what, that's it, game over. We're seeing this out. It's kind of like typical 1-0 to the Arsenal, wasn't it? Like we're ahead. We're seeing it, and we've done it. We've done it at Leeds. We've done it plenty of times. Just had the confidence to sit back and say that, you know what, the game's done. We're going to try and see this one out, and that will give the lads a lot of confidence as well, along with, of course, some more things to work on.
Well, we spoke about it a few weeks ago about this team evolving and improving, and we've just seen it again. It's like he's changed to a back 4. We've played 2 games with it. But if things start to get a little bit heated up, all of a sudden we change to 3 at the back. So it just shows you that the way that we're playing, the way that we adapt to things is depending on what's happening in the game. And that's what you've got to have from your team. And your manager's instilled that into his players.
And we've got to remember that we've got the result away at the Emirates Stadium without our talisman, our top goal scorer, Raul Jimenez as well. He's ever present, so I think obviously our thoughts are with them, but the boys have definitely went and put a performance in and got the result for the main man. Eh?
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to bring you back to that idea of defensive solidity as well, because whilst we obviously can't go through every single player, one that is worthy of a little bit of discussion just before we finish off is Marcel, because we haven't seen a huge amount of him. Really, we saw him kind of burst in on that first game away at Sheffield United and look really impressive, and he's had to be patient and wait for his time, Carl. And actually, I thought as the game went on today, he got better and better.
Do you know what? I seen him play at the start of the season. Sheffield United looked good, looked really attacking. Seen him play, I think it was West Ham, and was it West Ham? I think, and he looked a bit suspect at times. And he was really solid tonight. He done his job. He done what he needed to do when he's going forward. Defended well. Just a real solid performance. What you want from your left back, everyone will agree. And I was really impressed with him. I was impressed with a lot of people tonight, but he was one of. I was really impressed with. You could see he was tired at the end as well. Yeah. Kept on cramping up as well. He gave it his all, and it's important for the players that have come in. Like we've spoke about, Semedo growing as well. Marcel needs games to grow as well. Aït-Nouri has come in and done okay. Fabio coming in tonight, playing as many minutes as he has in one game in the Prem. So it's important for these players to get the opportunity for them to grow, and it's only going to progress us on as a team, because that's what we want. We want to progress, really. And we've had a few changes in the summer, and we're looking in good stead.
Right, we need to go, because as you can probably tell, they are switching the lights off.
I've had enough of you already.
Which I think is a signal for us to get out of here and get home. Liverpool away next up. They come thick and fast in the Premier League, these tough games. Should point out that thanks to Stephen Ward, the pundits have their first point on the board in the prediction challenge. He said 2-1, and look at the
Come on, Waddy. Come on, son. Chris will be listening, and it's an absolute disgrace. Do one, Mikey.
Fading him out. There we go. There's a celebration for the pundits. It's still 5-1. It's still an embarrassment for these guys, and they've needed to get somebody back in. But we will see what happens as our prediction challenge continues. From all of us here at Wolves TV and Matchday Live Extra, as Looms continues to celebrate, we will, of course, keep you up to date across our
on your Instagram, Mikey,
on the condition of Raul Jimenez. We send our very best to him And to all of you who've been watching and listening to us tonight, enjoy the rest of your weekend. We will see you next week.
Once upon a time there was a tavern where we used to raise a glass or two, where we used to while away the hours, thinking of the things we used to do. Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. We'll live the life we choose, we'll fight, we'll never lose. We are the wolves, oh yes, we are the wolves. Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. We'll live the life we choose, we'll fight, we'll never lose. We are the wolves, oh yes, we are the wolves. Once upon a time there was a tavern where we used to raise a glass or two.